Right. Hello.
Yeah,
How about
Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Dash.
double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways teaching this word, sincerity and in truth. Where the Israelites coming out again, preaching the gospel, the ministry of Yahweh Shai, man. And it's all about Yahweh Shai. It's all about Yahweh Shai. He's the reason why we're going to overcome all of this, the lies and the deception, the sword, all these, all the wiles of the devil that's coming up against us in these last days. We're going to overcome the sellouts, because there's a whole bunch of sellouts out there, charlatans, false prophets, Judas goats, that's set up to deceive. And someone get that as well, but if it's possible, they deceive the very elect. But through Yahweh Shai, the elect are going to overcome all of that. All of that. And including Esau, Edom, the devil that the Bible speaks of, our number one enemy, man, Satan in the flesh, who's rousing himself up right now to eat up our flesh, man. All right. So Revelation 12. You want to start from verse 7? Okay. 7. Is it 7? Yeah, more in heaven? No. What's it, 12, yeah? Yeah. Start from verse 10. Okay. Revelation 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God. Right, salvation for us goes hand in hand with the kingdom. All right, that's the eschatology. All right. The kingdom, the salvation is all in the same process. The Lord delivering us from our enemies, delivering us from judgment, but also delivering us into the kingdom. So at the point of salvation is also a transition. The kingdom is going to be translated from Esau, Edom, the so-called white man who's ruling the earth right now, the devil that the Bible speaks of, to the Israelites, to Yahweh Shai and his brethren.
But it's say Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of the bottom of it.
Yeah, we could get that. Yeah. Esau is the end of the world, man. Now you don't have to believe it if you don't want. But the so-called white man is Edom. They're the Edomites, and they're the ones that's ruling and pulling the strings. Right? These elite Edomites, man. Right? From the east to the west. They're pulling the strings right now. But that's why the scripture tells you that he's gonna take the wise in their own craftiness. Because their own wicked plans are gonna fall back on them. Like the MOTV and all that, the World War III and all these different things that you see these men doing.
Yep. 2 Ezra chapter 6 verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the part and asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand first held the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
We're the beginning of the new world, the kingdom, a world which is going to be based upon righteousness and truth, light, everything that's good. Whereas this world has been based upon darkness, evil, ignorance. And the chief of this world has been Esau, Edom, the number one death dealer, the liar, the schemer, the witch, the warlock. Because Esau, contrary to popular belief, he's the number one warlock on the planet. I know you think he's Adebayo or some don from Nigeria, but you'll be surprised to find out that the highest level warlocks are all Edomites, man. They roll with all the occultism, man, and they do it every day. They cast spells on the people every day through the TV, through the sigils on the clothing, the rituals. And that's why the people are so messed up. They got demons on them. Oh, for you saying. Yeah, go on.
The book of Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judge thereof. If not, where and who is he?
Right, the earth was given into Esau, Edom's hand, and that's how they were able to subdue the earth and have this great influence over the earth. Now, if you listen to them, they'll tell you it's because they're genetically superior and they're just high IQ. That's all BS. Esau is actually the lowest of all nations. He's the weakest, but the Lord set him up. The scripture tells you the Lord can take the basis of men, the man that's at the bottom, and put them on top, because the Lord reigneth in the kingdom of men.
Right. Yep.
Jacob, if you look at the statistics, we're the superior people, but right now we're in the inferior position. That's a spiritual thing. That's by divine unction that we are where we are.
But should you say I have seen servants upon horses, right? Or was it the princes walking on the ground? Right, because we're the princes of the earth, but we're in a lowly position right now, and we've got oppressors, these base men ruling over us, man. You know, and the Lord's coming to flip that back to its rightful place. You know,
That's right. That's what Yahweh Shai is going to do. He's going to reinstate. In fact, real quick, I know still hold where we are in Revelations. That's in the book of Acts, chapter 1, verse 6. Verse 6. This time restore again.
This is Acts 1 and verse 6, and it says, "When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?"
Why were they asking that? They'd been with the Lord for 3 years preaching the gospel. So I'm pretty sure they understood what the gospel was. And they knew what it was about. They knew that the Messiah was coming to restore the kingdom to Israel. It wasn't about this universal, open to everybody foolishness that Christianity pushes out there to the world. Like this we are the world, we are the future type thing, where everyone's holding hand in hand and everyone's equal. That's a fairy tale, right? Because the man that taught you that don't even really believe that. He's a so-called white supremacist. They believe in Edomite domination over the earth, 100%. But they've got the rest of the people believing it's about everyone. No, it was always about an ethno state. It was always about the Israelites regaining rulership in the earth, dominance.
And you should know this, man, right? Because when you listen to these demons, right? You know, Americans, Trump, and all these guys, they have to be at the forefront. They have to be in rulership. They can't allow no one else to come up and be stronger than them. They have to keep the hegemony, right? It's a battle for a kingdom, you know, and they're trying to retain theirs.
Well, the way a lot of these right wingers talk about Trump is that they want Trump to subjugate the rest of the world. But hold on, I thought you was a Christian.
There you go.
I thought you was a Christian. Is that Christian?
He's an
You
Christian.
just want to subjugate everybody. I thought everyone was your brother. What happened to why don't you want to work with people? You want to subjugate? Yeah, just take the oil. Just do it, huh?
Yeah.
It shows you that these people are hypocrites, man. But then Jay could jump in on that. Nah, man, listen, our thing is supposed to be, we're meant to be looking for our kingdom, our rulership. Right?
2 Peter 3 and 11. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasten unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for a new heaven and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness.
Everything's going to be, this kingdom that's going to come is not going to be a continuation of the old. People can't even grasp that. It's going to be a kingdom that's going to be built from the ground up, and it's a spiritual reason. When you go into the law, right, you hear about the leprosy of the house. When you got leprosy of the house, which is mold, right? If you go and you see there's mold in the house, you take that stone that's got the mold in it and you dash that way and you replace it with a new stone. Right now, if you come back, right, according to the law, and the mold come back, what are you supposed to do? The whole thing goes, and you see them stones that the house was made from, because not even just in the ancient world. Did you know that more time when a man will crumble the next man's city, they will come and then still take, because it's good stone. They'll come and take that stone and scavenge the stone and build something new out of the old stone. That man's crumbled man's castle. They'll take that same stone and build something else.
Call it ruins, isn't it?
Yeah. So it'll make the ruins even more ruins. The people will come and take that. It's like bricks. You could reuse bricks.
Yeah.
If a house collapsed, you could go and clean off some bricks. Okay, boom, and collect them and then reuse them. But when it has the mold, the law says you need to just dash with that. You can't use it again. But that's what this kingdom is like.
Yeah.
This kingdom is corrupt. We ain't the Lord ain't coming to take over America and then tweak a few things here and there and
Gonna move in.
yeah, we just got all the same institutions and things that already exist now.
Tainted.
Yeah, we just gonna take it over. Like for instance, when the what was it? The Babylonians took over. They
Mhm.
kept the Assyrian lingua franca, the language. This was the Syriac. They kept that as the lingua franca. Certain things, when you take over, you'll keep. You'll be like, okay, there's no point changing up everything, so we'll keep that bit, but we'll just put one of our dons as. Hell, we'll even keep. Yeah, shalom, yeah, we'll even keep certain of the man that's running it, and we'll just have a little puppet dude from our side, just to make. But we don't want to change anything, so it's just. No, that's not how our kingdom ain't gonna be. We ain't gonna be rolling up in their palaces and, you know, doing things the way. No, this whole kingdom is gonna be dismantled, and we're gonna build a new kingdom from the ground up.
That's why even the word new, the word new in the New Testament means kainos in the Greek, to refresh.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fresh,
It's
man.
gonna start again. We're not gonna be in the UN, are we? Just
Yeah,
but we'll
yeah.
keep the UN, but no, none of it. None of the organizations or the systems that exist now are gonna exist when the Lord comes. It's gonna be all destroyed, and the Israelites are gonna establish new systems and new order and a new everything according to the spirit of the Lord, and it's gonna be fresh. So ain't gonna be no NBA and all that shit, and you know all these institutions that exist now to come on. You know what, man? We'll keep Google. You know what I'm saying?
Where's Steve Jobs at?
Yeah, we'll keep Google. You know, because that's how it would be. Let's say like Russia was to like conquer
over,
America. The world wouldn't really change much. It would just be a transference of authority, but they'll keep the WHO and they'll keep this and do that. And it'll be much of the same. But when we
All them buildings are pagan idols anyway. You have to destroy them. Lord said all the standards
it's
and
painted,
have to be destroyed.
Well, the scripture says a new heaven and a new earth. We're gonna start again. We're gonna refresh this place from scratch, man. Day one.
And you know what? You make a good point when you said the idols, because a lot of these institutions are founded upon idols, and the idolatry is actually built into the name. It's built into the foundation of the buildings, the logos. So it's already corrupted. Now that don't start going mental now. Oh, I can't work in Asda. Nah, obviously you gotta use the world, not abuse it.
See that? Hey,
Hey brother, you got them Jordans on, them Nikes.
I kind of agree, you know.
Don't start going mad, because none of that stuff affects us, because we don't believe in it.
No enchantment against it.
You know, we don't worship it yet. But the point of the matter is, it exists. Nike is dedicated unto idols. Nike, the goddess of victory. So you think in the kingdom we're gonna have, we gotta save some of them Jordans. Them Babylonian. No, we're gonna burn all them Jordans.
Oh, that's the
specialized Bentley in the kingdom.
You're right.
Jake hit it. He caused all kind of curses, calamities. So they found out who it was, and they had to kill him and his whole family. Jake in the kingdom with Jordans on, like, bro.
Oh yeah.
Put him in Gehenna or something.
When we get taken into church, man, our whole body's gonna change. Everything's gonna. We're gonna give him fresh garments.
We're gonna make our own garments,
you know?
man. We're gonna have our own institutions, and it's gonna be based upon righteousness. Now, the reason I said that is because one of the things that people used to recycle was holy sites, holy institutions. So a lot of churches used to be pagan temples that they just changed it up and slapped a cross on there. Now that's wicked. Even
Tear down the groves, man.
you can't do that, man. You can't purpose some demonic thing. You know, then we ain't gonna do that. We're not gonna take some demonic building that Esau had been sacrificing and now we're gonna just live in it. No, we're gonna break it all down and build everything fresh and clean and dedicated unto the Lord in righteousness, man.
That's why you need the smoke, because the fire don't purify everything.
Don't break shit down, man.
Just like the apostle's been saying, what do you do with a harlot when it's been used in the boot? It's supposed to burn it. In America, it represents a harlot. So it's supposed to burn her, man. That's why she's gonna get burnt with fire.
That's right.
This is Isaiah 2:17. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low, and the Lord shall be exalted in that day, and the idols he shall utterly abolish.
Yep.
And they shall go into the holes and rocks and caves of the earth for the fear of the Lord and the glory of his majesty when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth.
So there's a lot of destruction. Like for instance, man, like you like they got the in Brazil, they got a big statue of Caesar Borgia.
Oh, they got two of them, bro.
That's got
Got
to
one
get dashed away.
underwater as well.
In
They
fact,
got two of them. They got two of
most of them, like you like I mentioned before, you got in Asian places, you got giant Buddhas,
Yeah.
you know, all kind of thing. You got temples
Stadiums.
and like Mecca.
Yeah.
We just keep it
Yeah.
real. That's gonna be done away with.
The
Carver stone, the pyramids, all of that, man.
Yeah, them
Statue
people
of
worship
Liberty
the
and
pyramids.
Statue of Liberty, but that's in America. But
All the
all over
phallic
the world.
The Eiffel
Shit,
Tower.
The Eiffel Tower is you know, all that stuff is going to be
Shit,
destroyed, man.
That's
the
why the
way
angels are
the
going to come and even us,
Right.
they're not going to send us on missions like, yeah, go destroy that idol over there, take them people and put them in captivity. They don't accept.
Yeah.
Slay them, innit?
Oh,
Slaughter them.
these dark
We're going to be on
bunkers.
missions, man.
where all manner of sacrifices in them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catacombs and all that.
But like we were talking about earlier,
Vatican.
Jacob is the
Oh, the Vatican's.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
God.
that place,
That's going to be.
the conclave.
That's probably gonna go in the first minute when the Lord.
that conclave where they're all chilling,
Yeah.
looking for the next pope.
Yeah.
You motherfuckers going to get burnt in that, man.
That shit that goes on there.
Well, that's the unclean spirit.
Yeah,
Said the unclean spirit's going to go into the lake of fire, man.
Yeah.
So the Roman Catholic Church is gone. It's done.
Done,
There ain't going to be no Catholic Church in the kingdom of heaven, man.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, this is gonna be a new beginning. So all the old stuff, man, is gonna go.
Yeah.
You know,
Light
Yeah.
is coming. You know.
That's
right, yeah.
The true
Because,
light.
you know, now things, you know, the scripture speaks about the veil of a nation, the covering part.
Yep.
Oh, you're maybe of this nation. No, now basically everyone gonna know all the truth.
Yeah.
Like these are the Israelites. You've been lied to.
Mosai,
Everything's a lie.
Yeah.
And now this is the truth.
There's not going to be no confusion.
There's not gonna be no
Because
confusion.
now you're like, what do you believe?
So what?
Nah, in the kingdom, there's only going to be one truth,
Yeah.
one universal truth,
Yeah.
right? Which is out of these scriptures. Man.
So this is Deuteronomy 20, I'll start at verse 9. The Lord Yahweh Shemir Shai shall establish thee in holy people unto himself, as you have sworn unto thee.
Where are you reading from there, sorry?
Deuteronomy 28.
Yeah.
Done. If thou shalt keep the commandments of the Lord thy God and walk in his ways, and all the people of the earth shall see that thou art called by the name of the Lord Yahweh Shemir Shai, and they shall be afraid of thee, and the Lord shall make thee plenteous in goods.
You know, as you rightfully should.
Mm.
The Esau Edom, man, you made a big mistake, man. And they're moving hella bold right now. You see them on Twitter. They might keep them talking bare madness, man. They don't. That's because they don't understand. We're the sons of the heavenly Father, and He's the King of terrorists, man. You don't know what you've done. You really don't understand. You know that man don't mess with the cartel boss son. How much more the Most High sons? Come on.
Like what Blade said, isn't
Yeah.
They're gonna fair because you don't mess with you don't mess with the son of the man. Everybody knows that. Yo, low him still, low him. You know how it goes, yo. You know, chill.
Funny, I was watching the program like that now. Mobland. Basically, the son, one of the gangster sons were missing. Like, where's Tommy? And he said, you got one more day left to find him. You don't find him when they kill everyone. It's like an English.
Yeah.
Big
Man,
shot.
shook.
They didn't find Tommy in it until they found him in a suitcase somewhere. And they brought him. So where's the guy that killed him?
Yo,
And then, like, he got his vengeance. on him.
coming
Like,
like when it's the bad man's son,
yeah, it's over.
man will mash you up for even talking like
Blew
that.
up a man's yard.
Man, the man them you're with will be like, what? You could, yeah, let's touch him. What? That man will beat you up. Like, hold on, what's going on? You trying to get us all killed? That's how it's going to be with the Israelites. Like,
Yeah.
yo, like, come on.
If
If a man even talk against us, his own people will be like, well, this guy's trying to.
Stop our blessing.
when the Lord delivered us, and Rahab the harlot was like, "Yo, we've heard about the deliverance that the Lord gave unto the Egyptians." And she said, "I'm gonna help you out because I prepare my house for one."
Like even the taskmasters, we're gonna have taskmasters in the kingdom, and if they hear a little word about man conspiring, you're gonna come to us and let us know.
They
We
go
gonna
snitch
execute.
because it's righteous.
Yeah.
But they know that there's consequences, man.
Yeah.
There's consequences. But Esau don't understand them consequences right now. That's why they're moving bold, and they're gonna get more bold. They're getting more angry. They're getting more bold by in Britain, in France, in America. Because the internet's got these men wilding. They feeling like they're the victim right now, and which they're not. But you know, Edomites, they're raping all the girls. No, they're not. But they're killing us. What are we going? When are we going to do something about this? It's like, yo, nobody even doing that.
I mean, a prime example is that that school incident, the two kids.
Yeah.
Running track. Yeah, and then he had a knife with him.
Yeah, they're making that look like that's just happening to Edomites every day.
Come on, bro. Like,
and I thought they don't see color. That's why. That's why But that's all being done for a reason. Because Esau, the elites, they're gonna do more things. They're gonna have more events where some crazy-looking black dude's gonna kill some lily white woman, and they're gonna put it on the news, and they're gonna gaslight it. Oh no, there's nothing wrong with it. And Edomites are gonna sit like, what? No,
White lives matter.
Yeah, they're gonna do it on purpose because they want these Edomites to be angry. And then that's when they're gonna be justified when they start taking you, Jake, out. Everywhere you go now, all you see is 2% of the population is responsible for all this. Like, every Edomite knows his statistics now. Like they're just the usual suspects and all this shit.
But they keep advertising it on the TikTok. Yeah. Everyone all of a sudden keeps live streaming.
They're all fighting.
We're like, stop him and all that. He's got a big knife. He's got a machete and all that. It's always a black kid.
But when it's an Edomite, it's crickets. You don't see man say nothing. You see an Edomite shoplifting, in the comments, they man won't mention the race. As soon as you see a black, they're destroying Europe. It's an invasion. It's like, what are you talking about? What invasion? No, what you did was an invasion. When you went out into the world to different places, you invaded.
Exactly.
My man Kojo and them man are not invading Britain. Like, what are you talking about?
Ezekiel 35, verse 12. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel, saying, they are laid desolate, they are given us to consume. Thus with your mouth you have boasted against me.
And that's what they do. They boast themselves, man. Oh, going back to Africa and they're like, wherever these men are, it's a shithole. 3,000 years of evolution, and they look at their nose and blah blah blah. These devils are proud. They boast in themselves. It's like, brother, chill. You've only been on top for a little while, You're talking like you've had a million year kingdom or something. Your kingdom is, in the grand scheme of eternity, you realize it's going to be a little blip. A little blip. A flash in the pan. When they're going to have to think back hard, like, them devils,
it's true, because when you think about it, this, like, if you look at the statue of Daniel, those are different empires that were to rule before the real order of earth gets established, which is the kingdom of heaven. Because what earth is supposed to be, like I always say, the final form of earth is the 12 tribes of Israel ruling. Like, that's what earth's going to be. All these, you think a million years down, because Alexander the Great, like, we ain't gonna be thinking about that, dude. You know what I mean? Antiochus, like,
he's gonna be like, even men don't really want to talk about them old legends. They were only like 50 years ago.
Yeah, man. Even like boxing, them old school boxers. People, when people try and compare like the Durant and all that, Floyd to Henry Armstrong, you're like, I ain't seen any of his videos. I'm not saying he's not great, but you know what I mean.
The only thing you guys are gonna be is like a cautionary tale from the past. A cautionary tale where most people are gonna believe it, but it's gonna be shocking. It's gonna be shocking.
You know how, like, Genesis, what happened before the flood is very short.
Yeah.
It was an era of madness that was spearheaded by you Edomites. You really think your hubris, you've drank your own juice, you think you're so lofty and so far beyond, like you're the elves, like you're Asgard, that you've really catapulted humanity to this next level of existence. And you just like, no, my bro, like, you guys are fucking buying farts, man. Shut up, man. You guys, the earth ain't that good. There's a bit of technology, but come on.
Prime example, if you go into a Macadee, you see a transgender manager. Can I take your order? But he got fake.
Everyone's confused.
He got pink hair and shit.
Crazy tattoos. I don't know, but I've been seeing hella crazy tattoos nowadays, and people like all kind of gibberish. It's basically talismans you always go into, man. It's weird now. Demons.
Most people are damaged, man, in this world, in society, from the time that they're children, and it's only getting worse. But Esau is just flat. The scripture says he flattereth himself in his own eyes. You really think you are something that you're not. No, we're gonna be what you. We're gonna be them
wanna be
guys. That's what you're
rich.
gonna be.
Yeah.
We're gonna be the actual ones that's gonna take the world to the next level
Yeah.
of understanding and purity and technology and
Real progress.
and
We are the
real
future, child.
progressive.
Real innovation. Yeah.
And the nations is really gonna praise us for it.
Yeah.
Whereas you, they're right now saying,
That's
"Fuck
why I
this
might stop
devil,
talking,
man."
bro.
Everyone's coming to find out you devils are corrupt.
It was a fake,
Like the
man.
scripture's saying, Obadiah, man, you're going to be greatly despised. You're small amongst the heathen, and you're going to be greatly despised. Everyone's coming to find out you white people are the devil.
You're faking it,
We're
man.
not just saying it for no reason. Everyone's looking at Trump like this guy doesn't even know what he's doing half the time.
Yeah.
And now he's backtracking because China's not having it. Like,
Yeah.
you know, so they're showing you like you devils are becoming weak in the eyes of all the nations now. Yeah.
This is the turmoil
Your
that the
mess up.
world is going through.
Yeah.
You actually planned for this to be that way
Yeah.
because you're scum.
Exactly.
If you wanted to, you could use your IQ and actually make the world a better place, but you don't. This is the point. You don't want the world to be a better place for everyone. You just a sadist.
Yeah.
You're a sadist. You enjoy inflicting pain and violence on others, man. You enjoy it. You love seeing the third world the way it is because it makes you feel better about yourself. You would never have it where the people in the world are living good. Now, Jake, we got a different spirit. We ain't gonna care. Yo, we'll be like, yeah, man, hey,
And that's,
fix them farms up.
that's the inferior mentality that you've got, man.
It's the
Because you
inferior.
know you're inferior.
Because you're inferior. And I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Well, I was listening to a guy the other day and he said, look, it was actually that Muslim guy, and he said, it's true. If you are actually fast, you don't need to break everybody's legs.
Yeah.
If you've had to break everybody's legs, to win a race, then how fast are you? And then you're, I'm fast.
Yeah.
No, the true dudes that's fast, I was watching the thing with Usain Bolt,
Oh,
and they were talking about what the 2012 race,
Oh,
and literally it had all the legends, the
All the
top
legends.
5 runners of all,
Right.
you know, of the recent modern era. Don't know about Asahel and them. The recent time were all in that race,
Yeah.
and Bolt won the race.
Yep.
Now he could stand up and say, "Yo, I'm the fastest man." All them man are standing. Yeah, because he didn't have to drug nobody. He didn't have to break no one's legs or
To the
undermine someone
Yeah.
or do what, or whatever. Yeah. The point is that this is when you're inferior, you've got to
Handicap, man.
handicap everyone else to make you into something. Whereas Jake, we actually are superior. So it's like even in sports, you can get other nation can train all they want. That's fine, train.
Yeah.
I'll help you train.
Yeah.
You still won't beat.
Yeah.
Because men are just better. We don't have to do no underhanded, sneaky, demonic tactics. And in the kingdom, we're gonna be just blessed. So we're not gonna have to be like, yo, like undermine them man over there.
You've got to be open, be
Nah.
transparent.
Put the tariff on them.
You know, do all this foolishness. Yeah, let's go in there and subvert. Let's send the agent in there, make sure the man are on crack. And we don't have to do all this
We'll
foolishness.
set up a coup. You know,
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Constantly doing foolishness. No, we're actually gonna be taking care of our kingdom like a man take care of his garden. And they're never gonna surpass us
Never.
because how could they? They're inferior.
Awesome.
It's impossible. We're blessed.
God's walking amongst men.
The Most High.
Literally going to be like little mini Most Highs walking amongst men, man.
Yeah.
And that's what the Most High made us to be, man.
Yeah.
And
And so we're just going to fulfill our role. We're to be blessed. To be, Deuteronomy 7 verse 6, to be above all people.
Yeah.
Right? So we're just going to be that.
Like I said before, like Esau gave up that blessing. Really, you're supposed to be the mortal one. You had that blessing, but you gave it up for some footage, man. Because you ain't got no faith. You're a bastard, man. So the Lord said, "No, fuck Esau, man. Let Jacob have the blessing, man."
Yeah.
Listen, and that's why we're going to be everlasting.
That's right. And you're gonna be gone.
Calm.
Book of Isaiah 2, I'm going to start from 2. I say, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it.
Yeah, there ain't gonna be no games. We're not gonna be no this political games and all this because a lot of the things you see is theater. These men have already had a discussion behind closed doors and they come out and pretend that they just don't like each other.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll want a war,
Yeah.
and it's already set up. Okay, we're gonna have a war, so we're gonna do this and that. Listen, ain't gonna be none of. Our world ain't gonna be a world of theatrics. We're gonna, what we say is
That's
what
it.
it is.
That's it.
We don't gonna need to play these games that these men are playing.
Someone's asking for your opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You
Your
know,
blessing.
play the villain, play the. No,
Yeah.
no. The nations are gonna know. Listen, this is the court. David is running things, and
Yeah.
you man come.
Yeah.
Okay, this is what we're doing. Give
Yeah.
man the report. Okay, that's what's going on.
That's
Cool.
it.
Go do that. Boom, boom.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything above board. No one's wondering
Voting.
and all this
Yeah,
foolishness.
And,
And there's OT. You gotta have a whole group of people. Yeah, there's a conspiracy. Ain't gonna be no
Ain't
conspiracy.
gonna be nothing.
Everything's gonna be out in the open. We don't need to do all this secret agencies and all this foolishness.
Everything's gonna be open.
and the nation are gonna be able to trust our judgment, man. You know.
Yeah.
Because there ain't gonna be none of this skullduggery. We just say it as it is, and then they know what they're gonna know. We judge righteous judgment, man.
Secret societies and triple and double agents and all this fuckery. Get it out of here, man. Of purity, just pureness, man.
Yeah. Even stuff that look like a false flag to make people. Bro, we gonna just have spiritual power. If you don't do it, it's gonna be a false flag.
Yeah, no, it was them.
It was me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this place is completely
false
gone,
flag.
man. It's completely out of the way. Esau's the devil, man. You can't trust nothing you see on TV. It's always got skeptic. It's got to be skeptical of everything because that's how much of a devil this man is. The man will give you this long, lofty speech. Look at this guy, Trump.
Yeah.
Almost everything he says, one day, oh yeah, we're having a discussion, and then 2 hours later, and it's no, and the flip flopping and everything.
Yeah.
But it's all on purpose. They're
purpose.
confusing the people. Even he himself, he's a puppet. He's literally a TV personality.
You don't run the country.
He doesn't run the country. This is all BS, man. This is characters that they just roll out and they just get them to talk on the TV and give people something. You know, we ain't gonna rule like that, man. Just rule the people how it's meant to be, man. That the people could trust when you say something, man. Like how Moses was. Moses wasn't running theatrics. Moses just said what had to be said. David said what had to be said, and that's it.
And many people shall go and say, "Come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord house. Of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his path."
Right. So they're going. That's one of the meanings of the word rule is to make something like yourself. When you rule over something, you make it like you. You put your imprint on it. So that's why when we rule the world, we're going to imprint on the other nations. Esau's ruling the world. He's also imprinted on the other nations, but he's a heathen. So everything's just getting worse underneath him because he's a demon. He's a homomaniac. So you're going to see a lot of homomanianism and all kind of wickedness. But when we're ruling, it's going to be righteousness. So the nations are going to keep the laws more.
Yeah.
They're going to have better customs because they're going to be under our guidance. Everything they do is going to be better because they're going to learn from us. Yeah, how do you do this farming? Yeah. We'll show you how to farm properly. We'll show you how. We'll show you the skill. We'll give you some game for you to run with.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why they got just like Solomon. That's why when Solomon was ruling, them man were certain man. They came and put themselves into subjection to Solomon, so they could get some of that game. Because all people really want is for their shit to be run good, so that the man can have food in the minimize the calamity, yelling at the bed, and bare youths running around. It's a very simple thing what people actually really want. So however you could get that done, they're gonna want to do it.
Like it's Proverbs 29 verse 16. So when the wicked are multiplied, transgression increases. That's why the wickedness is being increasing on the earth, man, because the wicked are in rulership.
That's why the Lord's depopulating you Edomites already. That's why you're already winding down, man. The Lord's already depopulating because you're a bunch of bati, man. Don't even have youths. You're the worst people on the planet Earth when it comes to actually like having babies, man. That's because really you're weak genetic. You ain't really even meant to be here, man. You already like Xing yourself out. Man could just sit back and watch you, man, X yourself out anyway.
But Esau will then make it seem like having children is a poor people thing. When you look at I think the TFR, the top countries which have the most children, like the top 35 are all in the so-called land of Africa, man. You know? And then you start getting into some of the other nations.
Yeah, but that's because guess what? Like if you're in the West, the problem is most people, because of the way the system is set up, yeah, you're just a worker anyway. So it doesn't really benefit you to have children to a certain degree because you just labor and make money. Now, when you own your own farmland, having children benefits you.
Benefits.
Because what does children be? Just free labor, man.
Family business.
That you for your family business. But hey, you don't have no family business. You just a human resource, man.
Yeah.
There's no benefit for you to be having 10 children. They're a liability to you. And that's how people are starting to see children in this society as a liability. Now, children are a short-term liability, but they're supposed to be a long-term asset.
Long-term. Yeah.
Man, to hell with these Edomites.
Yeah.
But the laws are going to go out, and exactly the laws that's in the scriptures, the whole world is going to operate off them laws.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not going to be no different laws in different places. It's going to be the same laws, the same standard.
Yeah.
Now, man, outside of the law, there's going to be differences. That's natural. You're going to have differences. Man might wear the red, man might wear the yellow, man might do this and that. But in terms of the standards of the law, it's going to be the same on murder, theft.
Yeah.
The sanctuary cities, they're gonna have sanctuary cities in their lands, because that's the wisdom. So they're gonna set when they get their lands back, they're gonna say, oh, okay, we need to pick out sanctuary cities. Yeah, make sure you have one there, or that one's too far. If the man catch man, he's fucked. So you have to make sure these cities are in certain positions, man. That's the kind of stuff we're gonna be ruling and judging on.
Yep.
The land Sabbath, you know, the dietary law. So it's going to be ubiquitous throughout the whole entire earth, man. Not Esau's confusing law that no one even knows. That's why you got to hire a lawyer, because you can't even.
Yeah.
You could break a law in Esau's kingdom and don't even know.
You don't even know.
That's why it even goes into the Apostles' guidance this week by the image of the beast. It's like America's a reflection of ancient Rome, because they're following that their philosophy, their way of living. In Rome, the Romans do that kind of shit. Philosophies and that. So it's wicked, all based upon wicked. But in the kingdom, we're going to be doing it on the ideals of the scriptures, man. Everything's going to be a reflection, image of what the Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai said from the beginning. So it's going to be holy. It's going to be straight up order, in order, righteousness, man.
Yes, there's going to be no stealing of land,
That's
because
what
we're going to judge that. And that means that's one of the reasons there's going to be no war.
Yeah.
Because usually, if you go through history, people talk about religion and all this garbage. The reason for war is really theft.
No.
That's the reason for war is theft. That's man don't go to war. This whole thing of you're going to war for religion is a cover. There wasn't no religion. When the man were running the crusades, it was for land and resources. It wasn't for religion. Religion, it just happens to be there, but really, is that people want money. Now in our kingdom, we're gonna set up the borders, and that's how they're gonna stay.
Yeah.
So no one is gonna infringe on another man's borders. And if they do, it's not gonna be a war between the two nations. They just gonna come to David, to the high court, and say, look, this is what happened. Boom, boom, okay, boom, this is the penalty. Boom, 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 and it's done. Anytime they got a problem, they're gonna come to the Israelites and we're gonna judge it. Now they say Esau is the police of the world. But what's Esau doing in the world?
Stealing.
He's actually fomenting wars and causing wars, and then and flipping, giving man the weapons. You know, he loves the warfare, man. Whereas we're gonna actually be a world court where it's like, okay, if there's an issue, you come to us and we're gonna sort it out in righteousness, and we ain't gonna take no bribe, or show no favor. It's just gonna be clean cut. Okay, you're in the wrong. So 2-2s, you owe man this amount of money, boom, 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 or this man are gonna have to be executed. And then from that, it ain't no feud going on forever. It's done. The judgment is balancing the scales, and it's done. Ain't gonna be no Pakistan, India for the next 2,000 years, leading back to one incident. Once we make a judgment, it's over. Go back to your yard. Everything's blessed.
This is Deuteronomy 4 and verse 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded thee, that you should do so in the land whither you go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Yeah, and one of those things is, you know what destroys a nation? In extreme inequality. Extreme inequality eventually destroy a nation, it causes suffering, and then it brings problems. And that's what Esau foments That's what most nations have fermented. A system whereby the majority of people end up owning nothing and end up being basically just down and out to a very small elite group of people. And that's basically how the world's set up now. You could go to anywhere in the world, you could throw a dartboard at a country, and what you'll find is you will have a bunch of people right at the top that own most of everything that's there to be owned, and then everyone else is just there fighting for the last little tiny little piece.
Yeah.
If you actually look at the way our law is set up and how things are done, the Lord set Israel up specifically to avoid that situation.
Yeah.
Now, did you have Israelites that were richer than others?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But did you have a situation where you had like a 1%, like the king had like 99% of the land and the wealth, and then the rest of 99% of the Israelites are just trying to get by on? No, it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
Because why? When they went into the land, whatever family was bigger, they got the bigger piece. If a family was smaller, they got the smaller piece. Every man had land.
Yeah.
They had ownership of land, and according to the law, that land will be in the possession of that family forever. Which means they have a means of production.
Yeah, because why? Certain families will specialize in certain things.
Exactly.
You might grow a certain crop, or you might make a certain dye for clothes, whatever. Exactly, specialize in that.
And because you'll always have that land as an asset,
Circulation.
you're always going to have that productive ability. That's what makes you a citizen.
Yeah.
But in this society, most people own nothing. You have no means of production. So you're just a human resource, or you're just renting. And that's why the scripture says, woe unto him that join house to house and join field to field. The Lord was against that, just buying up everything and everyone else is just living on you. No, that causes disruption among the people, that causes problems. Oppression. It's oppression. It's an oppressive system. That's not saying you're not going to have order.
Yeah.
You're going to have order. You're going to have some people that are going to do better than others. But this system creates massive extremes. And then our law allows for loans.
Yeah.
It allows for how you deal with loans amongst your brothers. It allows for slavery, but then the slavery could be beneficial to you, right? There's a way out.
You can get those loans expunged as well after 7 years.
All these different things are there for a reason.
They say even the slavery is a way out of poverty, man.
Yeah.
You know?
But that's what I'm saying. Esau mastered the idea because he learned all these things from the scriptures and he twisted it and learned how to capitalize on it. That's why they call it
a wicked instrument.
Yeah.
He uses it to destroy. Like when we lend to a nation, we can lend to them with usury. But the purpose of lending to that nation isn't to destroy them, man. Yeah, I want my piece off the top, but Esau, goddamn, Esau gonna make sure that you never pay that off.
Well, we see that. You watch these during the Roman Empire when they were taking over lands and they were taxing shit out of these people they were ruling over, and they were asking more than they could even do.
How does that work? No.
Now they're threatening students that can't pay off their loans. In America, I think it is. Like, don't pay off their loans and now they're threatening like clear their whole bank account.
That's all bullshit.
Fucked
Listen, you can rule a world without being an oppressor. There's a difference.
Yeah, you can.
You can rule without being an oppressor. We're not going to be an oppressor. We're going to rule, and the nations are going to flourish underneath us. But guess what? By them flourishing, we're going to flourish even more. Because guess what, man? I'm getting paid off that. Man, I'm taking my piece, man. So of course I want you to do good. Do good. But Esau, he want to take everything and then it becomes parasitic to the point where it's destroyed. Like.
They're in the UK,
And then he blames them.
But that's the difference between a ruler and a parasite, man.
So Esau destroys the very earth that he sits on, man. But how are you going to profit off an earth that's destroyed?
Yeah, we're not going to allow that. We're not going to. Now, there's different people think cutting down trees is destroying the earth. No, it's not. It's not. But there's a wisdom and a balance to everything. There's a wisdom and a balance to everything. And that comes from being spiritual. And that's why you need spiritual leadership, because that spiritual leadership will bring forth life, especially in the long term. Esau don't think about the long term because he's a temporary inhabitant. He only thinks short term because he is short term. So he don't give a fuck if you destroy the earth because he ain't gonna be here anyway. It's built into his DNA to think that way.
So that's why I saw this birthright.
Leviticus 19:13. Thou shalt not defraud thy brother, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with thee all night until the morning.
Yeah, you're supposed to pay a man that night.
Wage, bro.
The full wage.
No tax.
The hired servant. That means you have to have the capital before you start hiring people. You have to have. But we see, we live in a system that's so based upon credit and debt, but it shouldn't be that way. The man them that's got peas, then you hire people, but you got to pay man up front, and then you get your back end when it comes in, not the other way round.
These are stole so much from the earth, right? That you actually live on credit. You know, everything's credit and debt.
Bad things are paid free.
Yeah, but that keeps you trapped. Living in debt and credit keeps you trapped, man. You know, because it's not really real. Because when you come to payment, you've got to pay with,
and they make you live above your means.
Yep.
Just to get you into oppressive state of debt, man. This is a society. This system doesn't work. The only people it's really working for is really the elites. You know, and that causes pain, and that causes anguish. But that's why the scripture said when the righteous are in rulership, the people are going to rejoice, because you're going to have righteous and just rulers. We're not going to be evil rulers. We're going to be rulers. So you know what man say goes. But we're going to be righteous and just rulers. But the first 1,000 years is not just about rulership; it's about punishment. So they're going to have to be punished. But once the punishment is done, it's done. Now you're on pay-as-you-go tariff.
Make sure you're paying your, you know, what's the word again?
They gotta pay their subs, man. The tributes, man. Which Esau's the devil, man. How you gonna tax people? The taxing that Esau's putting on people.
Wow. I was gonna say, the HMRC can go on your bank account now. Yeah, if you owe more than $1,000 and you've got £5,000 in your account, they can just withdraw your shit out. Like clear your account out.
Which the law says you're not meant to go into a man's house to reclaim this guy is a demon, man. There's no way that the Lord asks for 10% and Esau's asking for all like 80 and that.
You got the savings in there, and then one day you just wake up, go to your account, zero. Like, you wonder what you check my account, bro.
Oh, that happened in Cyprus, though. That happened in Cyprus.
Bailing.
Yeah, with the bailing. You know, because I remember one of the guys that I used to work with, he was there around that period of time. He was living in, so he's Cypriot, innit? And it was basically saying, yo, that night, yo, all the drinks are paid. Because mans were like, well, it's all going tomorrow. So you just be like, yo. Yeah, man. They were just like, they were hurt, man. I imagine you got them, because that's like a little enclave for a lot of like rich Russians. So they would go there, and a lot of them got hurt, man.
Yeah, but they're gonna get real hurt with that MOT system. And that's why Esau's wicked. The whole idea of this mark of the beast system, where you will own nothing and Esau just controls everything, man, that's demonic, man. The Lord never intended for people to live on the earth like that. That's crazy, man. But Esau, being the devil he is, he wants to own everything. But the Bible says the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. And even the other nations are gonna have their inheritance, man. Even in our kingdom, the other nations are going to have an inheritance, man. We're just going to be in dominion over them. But Esau is like, fuck that, man. I want everything has to just belong to me. Everything. Even man's girl, everything. His toenails, everything. It's wrong.
Verse 15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. But in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor.
And that don't happen in this society. In this society, justice is skewed. Everything's skewed towards the rich. Justice is what you could pay for.
Yeah. If you got a shit lawyer, that's why what you get. Jake will sing songs about the court appointed, because the court appointed is just trying to get you in and out.
Yeah.
You know, they don't care. They'll make you plead where you don't have to plead or whatever, what have you. Whereas, like, if you get a good lawyer, right, which the Edomites can afford the good lawyers will get you when you're guilty. They'll get you free.
Or they might not even get to the lawyer.
Yeah.
The DA might just decide that they ain't gonna go forward with the case because of who your daddy is. That's what what's her name was set up to do.
Kamala.
Kamala, man, in LA. Let them elite pedophiles and that let their cases get dropped, man. So this society is wicked. So if you're a poor man, you going up against one of the ways they get these corporations get you is if they've got a lot of money, they'll just prolong the case till you run out of money to fight the case.
Yeah.
And then push you into a settlement. That's how they do it. Even the SEC, that's how the SEC gets a lot of small businesses.
Yeah, thanks.
Because they know the SEC's got all that big money, so they could run a case and they'll purposely do. That's why there's a saying justice delayed is justice denied. But they have ways to delay a case, delay the case, and then your fees are racking up to the point where you can't pay your lawyers no more. And they're like, well, that's not our fault. Hey, you better settle. So now you have to plead guilty, and a lot of companies go bankrupt off the back of that. Guess what? So that Esau's brethren can come true and buy up that company for cheap and run it.
Precept.
Yeah, it's
So,
basically
so,
saying
so,
it,
so
man.
they always win.
Yeah, man. The poor man is, but in our kingdom, you come before. If the poor man is slighted, and the rich man slighted him, judgment is gonna come down. Man, don't care about how much money you got. It's judgment. It ain't got nothing to do with money at that point. You can't buy justice. You can't bribe out the thing. This society is all about bribes. Money runs this place, man.
Quick one. This is Isaiah, Isaiah 26:10. Let favor be showed to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord.
Esau was shown favor because the Lord gave him the world. Yeah. And what did he do? He done wickedness. He didn't do righteousness. He done wickedness. And the wickedness here is we could literally do an on never ending camp going into the wickedness of Esau.
And
all the madness he's done.
So I was gonna say, and that's the stuff we know.
That's what we know. This man's done nothing but pure wickedness in the earth, man. Pure wickedness in the earth, but he wants to pretend, like I said, like he's the elves and he saved the planet Earth. And without him, like everyone else would just be swinging from trees, don't know what to do, don't know what to eat. We'd just be dumb animals if it wasn't for Esau. Bro, the earth is going to be better off without him.
Everyone's gonna come to that realization.
Yeah, man. Nobody's gonna be. Listen, we're gonna be celebrating when you're gone.
The whole world's gonna rejoice.
But you're gonna get just long enough to see the greatness of the new kingdom, and then you're gonna be like the other nations are gonna get to a point where it's all right now. We can live in this paradise. Because remember, the earth is supposed to be paradise. Yes. It's done. We're gonna transform the earth into paradise, and the heathens, the dog, the cat, the octopus, they all gonna live in paradise.
Because even they even get the benefit, right? Because they got their own land, so they can live like productive lives for themselves. Esau's just draining everything from everybody right now.
It's gonna be, but he ain't gonna enjoy the paradise. No, he ain't gonna get to live on the righteous rulership, man.
He's got to build our paradise. That's
it. He gonna help to build it, suffer in it, and then he gonna get taken out. And then the land that he was meant to have, Judah is gonna possess. And we're gonna be there over there dancing in his land, man.
That rocky terrain, we're gonna put some.
And you're gonna be out of there, man, because you don't deserve to be here no more, man.
Then you gotta pick my ride, we'll pimp the land.
Water park.
Theme park in the
water park right here.
Let the kids play. Yeah, Judah's going, and that's going to really burn you because Esau really hate Judah. Esau really hate Judah, man. But Judah going to get your little piece that you were meant to have. That's going to go to Judah, and you're going to be in the spirit world somewhere, man. Or wherever it is that I don't even care. Wherever it is, I'm going to put you, man.
It's like the spirit came by a true vagabond, no place in the earth.
Lord might just stick you in a picture, blessing, because it's
like sword in the glass thing.
The original Esau.
Romans 8:19, for the earnest expectation of the creature waited for the manifestation of the sons of God.
And that's us. We're the sons of God, man. All right, we're not no niggas and that. I know there's a lot of niggas, but that's not our final form. Our final form is perfection, something you will never know. Yeah. You Edomites, I don't care what technology you think you got, yeah, you will never know perfection. You would never feel perfection in your veins. Even your imperfection ain't on our level of imperfection because you don't know what it is to have a vertical. You're fucked. You don't know what it is to have normal manly strength and talent. I don't know what it's like to have talent. That's why they hate Jake so much. Because they really want to dance like us. They really want to do things like us because it's fun. But they can't, man. And
we just naturally do it. So it's not like we have to try.
Yeah.
It's our spirit.
They're innate. They're innate in us.
Yeah, it's innate.
And the Lord said you can't make a crooked thing straight.
Bro, niggas a football and you start seeing
Yeah.
all kind of crazy.
Even the girls nowadays see some black
Dead ball
girls, you got
control.
all kinds of tricks.
Yeah.
I never used to even touch a football back
We
in the
got that.
day. Girls with the
What's
spikes.
it? That's je ne sais quoi. That's je ne sais quoi. We got that extra bit, man.
Blah, blah, boom.
Got that salt.
You never know what that's like, let alone being a true God. You ain't no true gods, man. You take man, get AI, fake ass, get the hell out of here, man. I don't respect none of that, man. Oh, I'm glowing because they got like a halogen light. on there.
Radioactive.
Yeah, because you're radioactive. Good.
This is the book of Isaiah 14, verse 18. All the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory.
You know what, bro? Go up. Let's read that whole thing before we go back to Revelation 12. Go up, man. Hit that whole thing, man.
It's the book of Isaiah 14, verse from the top. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
Right, the mercy is for Jacob. And you see, that's why when you see, yeah, okay, we agree. Listen, man. Whew. Some of that stuff you see, man, from the depths of the ghetto, even I'm like, I didn't grow up like that. That's not, even where I'm from, niggas don't act like that. That's crazy. I see some stuff, I'm like, yo, wait, what kind of alien, even the way they talk and the way they act, you're like, yo, is this even real? Like some of that stuff, especially from, like, don't get me wrong, you get ratchet behavior in the UK,
Yeah.
but it's not like that. You might go down south somewhere and it's some real ratchet,
Yeah.
but even down south, not everyone's ratchet like that. But when you sit there, you see them world start hipping, and yeah, man, someone's there with his mother, hey, motherfucker, suck a dick. I know, and you're hearing it, you're like, right, like, these men couldn't even go to my, I can't bring these men around my people. They'll think this is craziness. Yeah, but that low level Jake,
That's the destruction right there.
okay, that's fine. But guess what, man? As you could point to how low Jake are, the murder rate, and
Lowest common denominator.
yeah, you could do all that you want, but you know what the scripture says? Let's read it again. The difference between Jacob and Esau. You could, yeah, point the finger. That's great. We love it. But what does the scripture say about us? What does it say? It said, yeah, let's read. Who's reading it? Let's read it.
This is Isaiah 14 and 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob.
Lord's gonna have mercy on Jacob. So you could, as low as the driest of the dry the bones can be, the Lord has an elect that the Lord gonna have mercy on and preserve the seed. But you Edomites, the Lord ain't gonna have no mercy on you. So when you see these Edomites pointing the finger and accusing us, because we're gonna get back to that, the Lord already fixed all that. As bad as Jake is in sin, the Lord died for all those sins to be wiped away. Now, a portion of them are going to be destroyed, and a portion are going to be delivered, but all Israel is going to be saved. At the end of the day, the Lord's going to turn around and have mercy on Jacob, because he's a vessel made unto mercy. You Edomites were a vessel made unto destruction, man. So you ain't going to get no mercy. So when we point the finger at you, it's worse. When we say, look what these Edomites are doing, you're what? 100%.
But it's funny how you said that. It's like even in Bruce Almighty, when Morgan Freeman playing the Most High, said it don't matter how dirty your thing gets, you can always clean it up.
Yeah.
That's like Jake. Jake's in the mud right now. It's grimy as
But they could be clean. That's Ezekiel the 36th chapter.
And Lamentations too as well.
The Lord's gonna make Israel clean, but you Edomites will never be clean.
Never.
And that's a difference. So you could do all your like 2% or 8% of the population is doing 60% of the murders. That's fine. Okay, cool, but we're still gonna make it. All we need is Yahweh Shai.
That's it.
That's it. We don't need your approval.
In 2 Ezra chapter 3, verse 28. Are there these then any better than that inhabit Babylon, that they should therefore have the dominion over Zion? Right? Just because the Most High got you in this piracy, does that make you better than us?
No, you Edomites are filthy, man.
Because you just as wicked, man.
You
Let's be real.
do all kind of demonic murders too. Yeah, Jay be murdering, but Jay be on that sociopathic murders. You be on some psycho murders, man.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you get away with it too. You devils do all kind of wickedness, man. When nobody ain't looking. All kind of bodies ain't been found. All kind of missing persons, and you Edomites got away with it, man. Well, you think you did.
Yeah, most I know. Verse 29, for when I came hither and had seen impieties without number, that's these heathens, these other nations. Because you man ain't holy. You ain't you don't worship the Heavenly Father. You put into all this other worship too, man.
Because you live in the West, yeah. You know what I mean? Because you live down Sloane Square, like, and you got the money. You think that means that you're more spiritual. Nah, you're still a scumbag.
So
It's a rich one, isn't
Yeah.
I see impieties without number. Then my soul saw many evildoers in this 30th year, so that my heart failed me. For I have now seen how thou sufferest them sinning, and hast spared wicked doers, and hast destroyed thy people. Right now, you're having a good time right now.
Yeah.
The Lord's not judged you yet. You know, so you're thinking, oh yeah, because we're better, right? You down low, white people, these crackers will say that, man. You're down low because you want to be low, because you're wicked and whatever, right? Not knowing that your real position is down here.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, and ours is above, man.
Look, when you break it down, like, if you actually look up, do the numbers on actual, let's look gang violence here. You do the numbers of gang violence. You think it compares the amount of people Esau killed in just Iraq? Actually, it's not comparable. If you actually just go to America, look up how many people actually get murdered from gang violence. Yeah, the number is actually not as high as most people think. It's just like London. You hear about the knife crime and that, and then when you look at the numbers, there's like 20 man. And you're thinking, right, there's like 10 million people in fucking London. When you really look at it, like the gang violence, is nothing compared to what Esau does.
Yeah.
Esau killed 1 million Iraqis.
Global violence.
World War One, man. Like,
Like, you're the undisputed, and you did that for oil, my nigga. What's different? What difference is that when a dude shoot up a block to take a corner?
Take the corner.
You're doing the same
Want my
thing.
corner.
You're literally doing the same thing, just that you've done it on an industrialized scale, and you've got a propaganda machine to make it look like you're on the right.
Yeah.
But it's the same shit. You're the original
it? The original gangster.
gangster, man.
It's just like when a nigga, this is my block, I claim this. As Esau does, he goes to other man's land, says, I'm claiming this is mine.
Yeah.
Yo, they said Bin Laden made a mess, so we're gonna go over there and make mess. It's the same. It's the exact same. They were like, yeah, turn it into a glass parking lot. But that's what niggas do. When man come over this side and make a mess, we got to put points on the scoreboard. They're going back over there. But that's what you did. And you chased man from Iraq to Afghanistan, but you killed more innocent people doing it. Collateral damage.
We're not turning no cheeks then.
Yeah.
You know.
But Jake try to get pokey, at the basketball court. Think of it. They say he's an animal. They could pull up to the basketball court, see one up here, spray up the whole court. Little Johnny gets little Pookie. He ain't in the gang, but he gets clapped. When the police catch him, they'll be like, he's a monster. He shot up a playground to get this individual, and there's a dead child.
Yeah, but
We need to give this guy like 70 years. He should, and I agree. He shouldn't. Listen, we don't want this guy on the street no more. But then Esau will bomb a class field. One man twice. You know, collateral damage.
A wedding. We didn't know there'd be innocents there.
That sounds like some drill record. Shut up the wedding.
It's underneath the hospital.
Yeah.
So Esau's undisputed when it comes to like the gang business and killing. When you really break it down, they just have a way of categorizing it into something else.
These
Yeah.
languages that they don't understand.
Yeah, that's an important point that the brother makes. Which is why whenever Esau speaks in statistics, you always got to look behind what a definition is, because it's something like, forget what it was. It was something like someone's an insurgent. Everyone that they're with is also classified. It's like double check. It's also classified as an insurgent. But so that means if man's just like walking with his family, they're gonna classify all of them as that, meaning that they're not counted as collateral damage.
Yeah, but what makes that different to some yardie gang that just wet up everything?
Yeah.
What makes them man any different? It's the same.
Well, bro, the point that proves that. Remember when we looked up that artificial intelligence database in the state of Israel?
Oh yeah.
It will calculate like who's around it, and then and once you reach a certain score, when he comes home to his family, it just sends a drone to that house.
Where's daddy?
That's actually what it's
Well,
called.
they did it with the pages.
That's it.
Yeah.
Man
Yeah.
was in the supermarket with his kids, or
Yeah.
the kid could have been holding the phone.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
kids
A
don't
man
do
just
that.
blew up the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids trying to play on the phone, boom, blow it up.
Yeah.
But then obviously, if it's sci-fi and them man, or on a cartel of them man, shut up some family,
Yeah.
then them man are the worst man ever been on the planet Earth. So really, Esau.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I got this from the AI. It says I asked it since 1970 how many black people have been killed by gang violence in the US. So it says comprehensive race-specific data on gang-related homicides in the US since 1970 is limited. However, available statistics provide some insights. Between 1980 and 2008, the number of homicides known to involve gang violence increased from approximately 220 to 960 annually. So at most, it's 1,000 a year. At most.
so how many times that you have to have 1,000 years to get to 1 million?
Ah, this nigga did
So
a couple of months and
but
did it
no,
right.
but I'm not saying it's not a problem. Listen,
It is.
Jake needs to fix up. Murder's murder, and it's supposed to be. Well, some of it ain't murder. Sometimes them niggas have to go.
Sometimes.
Just have to. It's true. Sometimes it's righteousness.
Sometimes,
Some
yeah.
of these niggas have to go. But in certain instances, yeah, it's just trying to steal or whatever, robbery and shoot. Okay, fair enough. Yeah. But in one war, in the course of what, 3-4 years, 1 million people has already way eclipsed what Jake is doing on the streets.
The Battle of Somme, whatever World War that was, it was in one day, it was like 60,000 man dead in one day. One day, that's the Emirates.
That's civilized. That's civilized. So Esau is undisputed when it comes to killing people and developing the weapons of war too.
So that's why he truly is the one blessing of the sword.
Be a badness like Yemen and all that
Yeah.
stuff right now. They're killing. They've killed more kids than Jake's killed. Drive-by shooting. and that, like. Anyway, where was?
So Jeremiah 49:12. For thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, behold, they whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have assuredly drunken. And art thou he that shall altogether go unpunished? Thou shalt not go unpunished, but thou shalt surely drink of it.
So now you got this thing that's come about now. So you had this whole fake white guilt thing, where the left were like, oh, we're so sorry for what happened in slavery, which is all fake. You're not sorry. They had this fake white guilt that the Demons were pushing, the wokeism, which was all fake. Like they didn't really care, but it had to be pushed out there. Innit? Like we did black people wrong, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
We all know the wokeism that was going on. Only so now, them man can just get rid of that. Now they're like, fuck that. We didn't do nothing wrong. That's what's coming. That's what they're pushing now. Through Trump and the right, they're like, you know what, man? We didn't do nothing wrong. Other people put people in slavery. We were humane. In fact, we ended slavery. All this kind of stuff, and we gave them mobile phones. And actually, they're the problem because they're violent and
They ain't grateful.
this is what they're pushing now. Esau's getting to the point here where the mainstream thought process now is going to be like, F y'all.
Yeah.
You're the problem, not us.
And even that point of people had people on the slavery, bro. Transatlantic slavery and slavery in Rome.
Next
two
level
different
thing.
things.
Next level, man.
Rome, you might be a supervisor of a building site and be called a slave. Not fucking getting hot cane sugar and get poured on your fucking
Yeah,
flesh.
they
That's
don't
the
want
thing. What they do is brutality and just evil, right?
Yeah.
Back in Rome, like you get,
Yeah.
they got a purpose, man. You need to
Yeah.
be sold, you need to be kept in some kind of condition.
Yeah, but
do something.
what Matt Walsh said, that was great. When
Yeah, that was
they came
great.
to a land, they came to America,
They conquered a bunch
they
of
conquered a
savages.
bunch of savages. So this is the thing now where Esau now is fully going to go like, listen, we're not even going to entertain that we did anything wrong.
They hold themselves
Hey,
up.
but it's cool because they're his version of savages because they were technologically developed or whatever, right? Well, that's fine. When we're upgrading and got the spiritual power, you're gonna be savages to us, isn't it?
They
In
are
comparison, that's what we're gonna do you in the same way.
And don't be surprised if Trump makes a big deal about Christopher Columbus Day this year. They're gonna make a point because they've been attacking it. The left have been attacking Christopher Columbus Day for a minute. So this time now they're gonna push Christopher Columbus Day hard. It's like he didn't do nothing wrong either.
This is where we're getting to, man. Esau's the devil.
In America.
Who was reading just now?
Yeah.
I was reading something. Sorry. Yeah, back in 2 Ezra chapter 3, verse 30. For I have seen how thou sufferest them sinning, and hast spared wicked doers, and hast destroyed thy people. Because right now we're in a destroyed condition, right? And the wicked are prospering around us. And has preserved thy enemies, and has not signified it. I do not remember how this way may be left. Are they then of Babylon better than they of Zion? Or is there any other people that knoweth thee beside Israel? Or what generation have so believed thy covenants as Jacob? And yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor have no fruit. For I have gone here and there through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth. Esau got with the
That didn't
riches,
mean they
right?
were righteous.
That's right. I see that they flow in wealth and think not upon thy commandments. Weigh therefore thou therefore our wickedness now in the balance, and there is also that dwell in the world, and so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel.
Yeah, you Edomites have never been right. That's why when they talk about make America great again and return to righteousness, when was you righteous? You've never been righteous. You've always been devil worshipping demons from the very beginning. Like, I don't know what year that was when you was righteous. When would you keep the law, statute, commandments of the Heavenly Father? Never.
That's
So
what
I
I
don't
said,
know. I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah.
You're just the devil, and you're still the devil, man.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, bare batty man. They always been a bunch of batty man. He just in the closet before, but he was still batty man.
Yeah.
Broke back, the broke back thing.
Yeah.
Cowboys,
That's why I said they were violent.
bull boys, man. That's what.
Children of fools, violent on the earth.
No, yeah.
That's what Isaiah 14.
Yeah.
Cameron did a thing with the pig.
Yeah,
Like-
they all did it, man.
Yeah.
It,
And
in
then,
4K, but
yeah.
it like
And then people just forgot about that shit, man.
it's
Yeah,
actually,
them
the picture's
rituals.
actually there.
Yeah.
The picture exists.
Damn.
One of the
Rituals, baby.
Come on,
I've got a quick one.
just go on verses, bro. When was it that they which dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight? Or what people have so kept thy commandments? Thou shalt find that Israel by name have kept thy precepts, but not the heathen.
Yeah, and that includes Esau. Esau, you never kept the precepts. Yeah? Because what does the scripture say, man? Remove not thy neighbor's landmark. Man. You went over to the Americas, and that's what you did. You removed the landmarks of the people, man. And then pretending that you were spreading the gospel. You weren't spreading no gospel.
Anything you did at home, you have to do it in sincerity, man.
Yeah.
You know, and you didn't come with no spirit because you did it all for your own gain.
Yeah, you removed the landmark, changed the name,
Yeah,
you know, then rewrote history about it, you know, lied on history, whitewashed history and all that.
Murderers, thieves, man, liars, and idolaters to boot, because you never worship the Most High either. No?
Never.
You never worship the Most High, because Christianity don't worship the Most High. Christianity has its own God, and that's what you claim to be.
Him.
And all them guys were Masons anyway, so they knew that. Washington and all these guys were Masons, so they were into the occult, man.
Yeah.
Don't mess about with me. You know exactly what you were.
Even right now with the Burkina Faso thing, they're coming with like like with the Burkina Faso situation, they're coming with a story saying basically like my man Ibrahim Traore is impoverishing his people, and they got to go in there and get the gold from him and help them manage better manage. Yeah, trying to make us all rich.
The car's cousin, bro.
America's gonna help everybody manage things better, right?
So,
America's a fucking shit.
That dude look like I don't know where they found him, but I do like a serious. You look like you don't want to get in a cage with a knife. You know what I mean? It come down to just you, him, and a knife, man.
yeah,
Like it might get sticky out here.
they got like an African, like a guy called Michael Langley, like a US war official.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
Africa,
yeah,
and he's talking about,
yeah.
yeah, man, we've
Yeah,
got
why
to
is
invade.
there always a black man ahead of
You
us?
got-
I never noticed that.
Yeah.
I swear the last general must have been black as well.
And like we got to invade because he's impoverishing the
Yeah.
people. It's not general.
No, you're doing that because the French has been pushed
Yeah.
out.
Because
And you want a piece of the pie.
Yeah, because the French, the French a lot, but the French, they've been taking the piss out of them certain
Yeah.
nations where it's
Oh,
like
yes.
for years.
For years.
Centuries.
Yeah.
They never stopped, and then it got so bad because of what they're doing. Because everything has a trickle effect, and people don't realize that. People don't move. People don't migrate from their ancestral lands or from where their family and friends here for just any old reason.
Yeah.
People don't do that, man. There has to be when you see a whole bunch of people migrating up from South America to all the way up into America, traveling 30,000 miles on foot and all kind of madness. Yeah, you think man did that because they just want to? Bro, they're doing that because wherever they are, there is a problem. and they're trying to get away from that problem. And what you'll find is the source of that problem goes back to America. What was it called? The Monroe Doctrine. They destabilized and destroyed South America, which created all these issues why so many people are in such abject poverty that they might as well just risk their life to go up to America if they could give them a better way. So the same thing goes in Africa. If them African countries, if man was drinking bare super malt, yeah, and bare fried chicken and super malt, like, that man wouldn't be going on boats, risking their life crossing the Mediterranean to trying to come to England for what? If your life is good where you are, you ain't gonna go. The number one solution to stop immigration is to stop messing up where they live, because they'll happily, the weather's better. Why does man want to come all the way here and wear a big coat? They can wear a coat in Africa. But the guy from Italy, because Italy suffered a lot from the immigrant crisis, which is a real crisis.
Yeah.
This is not a joke. Like, there are places in Europe here where these men are just laying all over the street.
Yeah.
When me and Ramal went to Belgium, we were just randomly in a bus station, yeah, and bro, there's a big space inside the bus station. It was just bare black faces, bro, laying out on the thing. And then when you go to so it's got to be worse now. And the closer you are to the Mediterranean, the worse it is. So Italy has a massive problem. A whole bunch of these black gorillas just running up there, man. And they don't give a fuck now. But guess what? They're fleeing from their countries from war and pestilence and violence, right? But that impoverishment was caused by France. So when they were having a big debate about it in Europe, the Italian foreign minister called France out. He said, listen, it's your policies that you've done in West Africa all these years that's leading to all these West Africans fleeing Africa and coming into Europe. Man said it straight because it's true. They wouldn't be just leaving paradise for no flipping reason, man. There has to be a reasoning behind it.
Because even like with Haiti as well, I was looking up one like a thing called the Haitian Independence that we're back in like 1825. For them to be recognized independent, and France said you got to pay us 150 million francs basically in 5 installments of 30 million. And then ultimately they impoverished the Haitians to the point where, like, literally, even with the Eiffel Tower as well, they were funneling money through Haiti to build that. And then they'll turn around and blame the Haitians. But man,
so why do you think man are jumping on the boat to illegally go up into America? If everything was good where they were from, you think man won't be living in Haiti, fam? What are you talking about, man? Come on, fam. Why man don't want to come? Everyone hates England, man. Everyone wants to leave. It's cold. It gets cold. It's raining all the damn time. You think if man could have?
Man Gates said stay and safety will pay us 150 M.
Even they say the most stable place in Central America is what's it called? Costa Rica. Yeah, and you ain't got no Costa. Where's the Costa Ricans up in America?
They ain't gonna leave with it.
They ain't got nowhere to. Why are they gonna leave? They're living life.
Listen, you don't do that, man.
Yeah.
Human beings don't just get up and go. But no, usually if they're moving somewhere, it's literally because something's happened, man. Something, war, some kind of thing, and man have to get out. Otherwise, they'll usually stay where they are or neighboring.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The other, what's them? Cape Verdean. They say that's the Europe of Africa.
You don't see a lot.
You don't see a lot of them. They're
More
down
of the
there. You
girls
see
need to
our
come
Cape
to
Verde. Man.
Never know, no man. Someone sets up a camp out.
Yeah, we're gonna go.
Can I read through this real quick? So it says, so France relies heavily on nuclear power, about 70% of its electricity. To fuel reactors, France needs uranium, but it doesn't produce it. It has sourced a lot of it from former colonies, especially Niger, right? Companies like Orano have operated mines there, blah, blah, blah. So it says, so France, through companies like Ariba, negotiated deals with countries like Niger to buy uranium at extremely low prices, far below market rates, right? It says these contracts are often signed under pressure, so you're getting bullied in signing these contracts, when the local governments were weak. As a result, France got cheap uranium to power its economy. Niger, despite being one of the world's top uranium exporters, remained one of the poorest countries on earth.
Yeah.
So here it is when England, for example, was going through the energy crisis, like what, last year or two, right? You basically had France paying like piss cheap energy, but that's because they're exploiting countries like you know, Niger, it's in Africa.
Yeah.
So
And
it's,
not just that, they got the Frank.
yeah.
It's all based upon that, and they get first dibs on a lot of the minerals as well.
Yep.
And they set the price.
Yeah.
And not only that, they normally when they go to these African countries and they set up their company, they don't pay no tax either.
Oh yeah.
They don't pay no tax in them countries. So it's all profit, man. Esau's been doing a lot of dirt, man. You know, Esau's been doing a lot of dirt, and that's how they're able to live in Switzerland and all these different places. Bare millionaires and that just chilling in Monaco and all that, because they're robbing. They've been robbing people blind. They've been playing a good game. But then they have a conference, or we need to fight poverty or some bullshit, yeah. And then people believe all that shit.
1% all philanthropists as well.
The war on poverty. They're gonna shoot poverty, yeah.
Yeah. And even when you look into that whole philanthropy, it's just tax deduction. This is complete tax deduction.
I saw something. They went into what's the richest guy in going back into America? Not Carnegie. One of the other families. He's public. Well, even it was the invention of public relations as well. They basically was so looked down upon. No one liked him. They basically did a PR. They, you know, when he sat down with certain people, they said, "We need you to become a philanthropist so that your presentation before
Like
the
Rothschild.
people."
That's what
That's
they're known
it,
as. They're known as philanthropists,
And it goes back to him.
which is all bullshit, man. Esau ain't no philanthropist, man. He's a demon. Like, is that it on that? And then we jump back over here.
This is
Oh, you got it.
Habakkuk 2:5. Yea. Also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied.
And even this thing with China, right? Because when I first heard about all this thing with China, you know, said man have been on the algo thing. It never made sense to me, the argument that Trump and these men were making. Because for one, the trade deficit that America is running has been to their benefit. It's called the exploit privilege. The fact that America has the Federal Reserve dollar means America gets to export dollars, and then they get the privilege of getting all these cheap products. So it's actually been no one's been cheating America. The people who have been cheating America are the people who own and control America. And the problem isn't that China's taking the money from America, it's that the elites of America have not been redistributing all that wealth that they've been getting to the rest of America. That's actually the problem. So, but Trump's pointing the finger at China. But let me give you an example. These iPhones that are made in China, can you guess how much? How much is an iPhone sell for in America on the market? A grand, yeah.
$900 for a grand, yeah.
Can you tell me how much of that is retained within China? I'm talking about to pay for to create it.
Probably
Probably,
£30.
It's $60.
Oh man.
China keeps $60 of that in China.
Ah.
So when they're trying to paint it, yeah, like China's just robbing America. It's no. It's the multinational American companies and Western companies that have been fucking making a killing, but the killing ain't been going to the average everyday man. And Trump ain't talking about. They tried to say around Wall Street, but he's still trying to point the finger at China. But the Chinese man that's been working in a factory for damn near nothing ain't the one that's been making all these billions, is it? Where's all the money gone? Well, if it ain't gone to the average American and it ain't gone to the average Chinese, and we know that China's not richer than America, then where the fuck did the money go? The money's gone to the elites in the West. But they're trying to frame everything like they're the victims, and it weren't us, it was China. Bro, you're the one that made China what it is. Mao Zedong, when they went over and opened up the world for China, took all the jobs out of America and put it over there for their benefit. That ain't the Chinese fault. See, these Edomites are the devil.
Yeah.
That's why it says, man, they can't be satisfied. They're greedy to the point where they could give their people more.
Yeah.
They could allow for the average American, the average Brit, and all these people to have more wealth. They could have a better share of the pie. They just don't want to. And that's why the populations in the West are getting squeezed more and more, and they're pointing the finger elsewhere. Well, it's China. It's the reason why your cost of living is. No, it's these same people that's running the society. These elite, super elite Edomites, man, that give themselves free money.
Right. In the UK, they got like this supposedly independent body called the Office of Budget Responsibility. They basically are supposed to tell the public transparently everything the government's spending, and then they just slipped in just 5 days before the tax year ended an extra 15 billion on top of the borrowing that they were doing that they never reported. And then now like they're talking about how like going into, and they're probably gonna come with another story in the next budget in October talking about how they got to put taxes up because of the fact that like basically pretty much expenditures
Some
are out of
regressive,
control.
which
Some
the
regre-
taxes will always hurt the poorer man more than the rich man.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the tariffs.
Yeah.
The tariffs it affects the importers, but they'll pass that on to the consumers.
Yeah.
For the consumers, it hurts more. It's regressive. It hurts the consumers with the least amount of disposable income. It's always the same game. The poor will get poorer and the rich will get richer. That's the game that Esau plays. Because he's the devil, he's greedy. They want it all to themselves. And Trump is still playing that same fucking game. He ain't trying to make the average American more wealthy. They actually believe that he's going to get rid of all the taxes, everyone earning under 150K. Are you retarded? Of course he's not going to do that. He'll get rid of the taxes for the man them that's earning dumb money, though. Yeah.
You know,
Come on, man.
even certain foreign nations are built off economies of scale selling to America. Like he's put tariffs on countries like El Salvador, like Lesotho, random countries that basically produce cheap goods for American consumers, like the stuff that they'll get in their targets, like their equivalent of Primark. But when them tariffs now, them countries ain't gonna benefit. So the people overseas are gonna be dying off the fact they ain't got no economy, and then people in the US are then gonna have nowhere to go for their
Yeah,
items.
they're squeezing everyone. That's all this is. They're squeezing the world. There's going to be shortages. Everything you said is going to happen. They're creating a crisis, and then in the end, the solution is going to be a new system.
Yep. They already came out and said our Walmart, all these different American retailers are going to suffer.
It's all by design.
It's
It's all by design, man.
public
They know
demolition.
exactly what they're doing because they want the people to be in crisis, especially the middle class. The middle class are getting squeezed more and more and more. But you know who's not getting squeezed?
Rich.
Trump and them, man. Them man ain't feeling no different. Because the billionaires, it don't matter how much
Don't
gas
affect
prices
it,
go
doesn't
up and that don't affect, man. Man's got dumb disposable income.
Yeah.
It's you it affects because your disposable income is a couple £100. So when them prices go up, it cuts. The middle class ain't rich.
I got this scripture. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Oh, yeah.
Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his day be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear the Most High, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not before the Most High.
And that's you Edomites. Your time is actually coming to an end. Especially you elites, because you elites think you got it going on right now. You think you got the people fooled and you're maneuvering and manipulating everything. You're gonna get this new world order locked in. You are gonna go down. Everything that you're doing step by step is gonna lead to your downfall. Just keep doing what you're doing because the Lord got you in a trick, man. Keep doing what you're doing because your days are numbered, man. Your day, and we love it, man. We seeing everything that's going on, and we love it, man. Keep doing more. We can't wait. Do more. Do it. Push that new world order, baby. Push that MOTV.
Push to see it, man.
Push it out there, man. Get it all on and popping. World War III, everything.
The sooner he does that, the sooner we'll be out of it.
Which, if I could say, whenever I think about it, makes me just think, it proves that the Most High is the one in control of everything.
Yeah.
Because the Most High said, look, man, I ain't going to save these Israelites until this MOTV, the persecution. If Esau really wanted to rule forever, he could just not put the
What's the
MOTV.
can't.
But he can't help himself.
Because his final
Exactly.
determination.
Thinks he's slick.
He thinks he's going to turn himself into a god through chipping everyone, which he could. But he doesn't understand, like the brother just said, there's a quagmire.
That's it.
There's a snare on him. So as soon as you're about to fill your belly, the Lord said, that's
How
it.
is coming back?
That's
And you
it,
ain't
right?
got nothing for that. So.
You ain't got shit for that, man. No robot, AI robots. No matter what super soldier you got. They're all going to get slaughtered, man.
The demons lied to you, man.
Yeah.
I ain't smarter than the Most High.
Isaiah 14 again. I'm starting from 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel.
So Israel is still the chosen people. Chosen for what? To be his people. the seed of Abraham, the chosen, and vocab and them, man, they don't want to accept that, but that's just what it is. It don't matter. The seed of Abraham is the Israelites, and it's a physical seed, and nobody else can't be a part of that. You can't make yourself into an Israelite. It's by blood. It's by seed.
Yeah.
Straight up and down. So if your dad ain't an Israelite, then you just hope you're not an Edomite. Then that's if you're not an Edomite, then you kind of alright. But that's just how it is.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah.
And that's how it is for them.
That's it.
Look at my man William and them.
Yeah.
I can't bust in and take over his inheritance. They'll say man's not.
Get him out of it. You know?
You know what I mean?
You go to a restricted area, the gun police gonna take you out.
Even though they usurped authority to get into the throne anyway.
Yeah, but they got
But
their.
according
To them, he's got the inheritance. I can't bring you into that. And then they're already saying it's gonna go to his children. Well, why is it not going to some random dude from Oxfam or something?
Yeah, Storms.
That's it. Storms.
Hey, bro, that will cause riots, bro. There'll be riots, bro. There'll be riots.
Wow.
He's getting it.
Go on, man.
Uh,
If they really want to piss, man, off,
Yes,
man,
sir.
you know what I mean? Let Stormzy marry into the royal family.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I can actually see them doing some shit.
yeah.
Man. You know, niggas will still like Esau will storm the fucking castle after that. Not having no storms. He's married.
He's dark as hell, man.
that's what I'm saying.
Black as soot, bro.
Hey, go ahead.
And set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall.
The strangers that's going to be joining is the Israelite foreigners.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Because you can't physically join another nation in with Israel. It's impossible, man. It don't work. That's confusion. That's the mixing of seeds. You are what you are. You can't change it, man. You can't change what you're born, man. It can't be done.
And you can't change the covenants either.
You can't. So it's the strangers that's going to be joining on to them like Israelites, man. Because Israel's scattered.
People still got this dispute between the Gentiles. Come on, man, you Christians, that shit's old. Like, come on. Let's play it out now. You got to understand the Gentiles. We talk about Israelites. They're in a Gentile state of mind. If you still don't understand that by 2025, I don't know what to tell you.
You haven't got the ingredients.
Yeah, man.
Esau understood it when he wept bitterly. He knew where it was. No. Listen.
He's got guys like Volkan fighting for this
Yeah.
succession and all that.
Yeah, except when he gets them they J-double-O's, then he don't want to
he's
talk
like,
about
oh,
it. Then he don't want to talk about it no more.
I'll
Go
go,
on,
I'll go a quick one.
Yeah.
John 4:21. Yahushua saith unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father.
Yeah, and that was talking to an Ethiopian woman. She thought, oh, I'm in the land, Samaria and all that. I'm with the people as well. I can be counted worthy as an Israelite. Nah, just because you moved into the land don't make you nothing. You ain't no Israelite.
And you know what proves that?
I'm saying,
Remember, the temple proves that. Because
yeah, you can come to the temple.
when you go to the temple, right, remember, the Lord designed the temple. Yeah? You had the outer court.
in the court.
Now, the outer court, you could be ceremonially unclean and be a heathen and come to the outer court. Like, so say if a woman was on a period, she could go to the outer court. That's the outer court, right? But then you had the inner court. So you had the first one was the court of the women, which is only an Israelite woman and an Israelite man could pass into that. So if you weren't an Israelite, you couldn't enter in to the court of the women. Only an Israelite woman. Why is that? How come a heathen couldn't just clean themselves up and do something and pray and walk it? No, you couldn't, because you ain't of that seed. And then you had, beyond the court of the women was the court of Israel, which you had to be an Israelite man. And then, like you said, then you got the inner court for the priest, Aaron's sons, which is another distinction. So even that shows you that the Lord went about. There was a racial aspect to it where if you didn't have the right seed, boy, you might just blast into flames, but you broke in on. That's not compute, man.
Even that's like the story of the Ark of the Covenant. Even though it was a Jake that dropped it,
Yeah, he didn't have the right. He didn't have the right.
Yeah, he was an Israelite, but he didn't have what to say. But he even tried to put his hand. Come on,
The fail safe went off, man.
That's why them. And when them Hamites stole the Ark of the Covenant, what happens to them? Yeah, they got hit with hemorrhoids and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
the
got hit with all
fail
kinds of.
safe went off, man.
things,
You ain't got the right DNA.
Even the Levitical breastplate, it doesn't have anything to represent the heathen on it.
Yeah.
Where's the gemstone?
Yeah,
Where's the
no
That's
keep
right.
on.
That's dirt, bro.
Yeah.
You know, Esau tried to make diseases for Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why is
The
that
Heavenly
fingerprint?
Father got that on the Ark of the
Yeah, it's a
Covenant.
DNA fail safe.
In
man.
it, it's like, oh, Levi, nope, okay, death. You know,
You got the right
It
DNA.
don't matter.
It's peak, man. That's just how it is, man.
booby trap.
Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews.
Yeah, salvation is for the Jews, for the Israelites. Yeah. Point blank period. It's not for the other nations, and they're not holy. They can't be made holy. The holy seed is the seed of Abraham, and that's from this straight descendancy, man. Straight up descendancy. And if you ain't from that descendancy, then it's just you just didn't make it in, man. You just didn't make it, man.
Because I see
But that's life.
it's like
No,
Because I
but
see,
yeah, go on.
Because I see the back and forth of this Captain Cesariak. You know, he keeps debating these Christians every damn other day. He's having another debate with this Christian, another debate with this person. Like the same argument, man. Look, man, like, same answer you're gonna get the same answer. You're not gonna get a different answer in a different debate. The Israelites are the ones that's got the covenant. You other nations ain't part of it, man. And you can't be reconciled to something that you was never part of, man.
That's right. You're not party to
You're
the
not part
covenant.
of, you're not part of the laws that the Lord gave to the Israelites. Even the mixed multitude, when we came out of Egypt, they didn't receive the law. They all got killed, man.
But they were slaves.
They were slaves.
They didn't get killed. The mixed multitude was
Yeah,
slaves.
the mixed multitude, but they weren't part of the covenant. with
Yeah,
God.
they
You know what
didn't.
I'm saying?
When the Lord made
They ain't
the
get no
when
blessing.
Moses
Yeah,
took the hyssop and the blood, they
All
weren't
that.
called to that.
Yeah.
they weren't part of the
They were
covenant.
slaves. Like the mixed multitude were numbered with the cattle.
There you go.
You know,
Yeah,
they were. They were
Chattel
numbered.
slave.
He didn't number them and say, oh,
Yeah,
and there
yeah,
was
yeah.
10 Egyptians, and there was no.
Nah,
It
nah,
just said and they had cattle and they had goats and the mixed multitude. That's it. No. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, but they weren't numbered among Israel. They were not. They were separate, just like the cattle and them.
That's why you had what's next week, Numbers 24. He praised the Israelites.
He said he
many-
wanted to be one.
Balaam. Is it Balaam or
Yeah.
Balak? Yeah,
Balaam.
He's basically saying like, man, I wish I could be these people.
yeah, that,
Yeah, let my end.
you saw the vision.
Yeah,
You got the vision, didn't it?
because we won in life. We won the lottery.
Yeah.
But that's life, man. In life, some people win and some people lose, and then sometimes there's nothing you could listen. We all want to be Tracy McGrady. You know, we all want to be Vince Carter. Them niggas won. Them niggas, listen, bro. This is what we do know. When you got news that's that tall and that athletic, there's bare ballers that they wanted to be. They could have been that good, but they couldn't at the same time because it was genetics, man.
Anthony Davis, all them
Bro,
guys.
there's bare ballers that didn't get past 5'7" from and ain't got no ups, but they can ball. Some little Filipino dons here. I've seen some Filipino dudes that can ball, but you ain't Tracy McGrady. He was born with the genetic. Him and their cousins. Him and Vince Carr, man. Bro, the way of life is some things you're just born with, man. Some things you're just born with, and there's nothing you're gonna do to overcome those genetics that the Lord gave. You could get lucky. It's luck.
Didn't Vocab one time try to be like, "Are you lot think you've won the golden ticket?"
It
or
is
some
a
shit?"
golden
It's like,
ticket. Bro, there's some it's just like anyone that knows sports knows that sports is a genetic lottery. People say it's about hard work and all, which to a degree it is. But a lot of times, look, do you know how many ballers are sick when they're like 8? And they're looking at him like 8, 9-year-old, and they're like, he's good. Bro, as soon as puberty comes, man got left behind. And that's not his fault. He didn't grow tall enough. His heart ain't strong enough, so man's stamina ain't no good. Stamina is not just, you can't train stamina to a degree. There's a certain part of it that's genetics. There's a certain part of it that some men are just, if they train, they'll get to that level, and you train and you'll only get here. And there's nothing you could do to bridge that gap. That's what the athletics is, genetics, man. Well, this is the world we live in now, and it comes to the spiritual things, it's genetics as well. The Lord set up certain man with the genetics, yeah, that's key to be part of this thing. And whether you like it or not, you're born into this thing. And you can't train it. You can't train. You can't do nothing to get. You can't pray and do some ritual that's going to change it. You ain't got the ingredient. Just like I can't become Tracy McGrady. Like, it ain't not going to happen. I ain't going to win the dunk contest against that man.
Even to just get this truth, man, because what the scripture says that in what's Matthew 13 about how Yahushua was like, look, I don't want him to get it. So you can get because you see you get guys that are trying their best to get it, and you see it's just not clicking.
You have to be chosen. Certain things it's not that him that willeth or him that runneth, man, but the Lord that chooseth. And these men can't get that into their mind. So they want it to be something where you could do something to get. When it's as simple as something just okay, when you had the Levites, right? The Levites' position was locked into their DNA. You couldn't be like a Benjamite and try to be a Levite. It's like, yo, you weren't born. And even Aaron's priesthood proves that. Because the Lord locked into his DNA. Yeah, you and your sons, that's your position, is by DNA. Okay, so could it be, what about Moses' sons? They still didn't have that position. So certain things the Lord has said, that particular seed line and that particular genetics, that's your thing.
And even when you deal with Moses, well, Aaron come into the position he came into through the spirit, but because Moses said, I don't know what to say. He said, ain't your brother Aaron among them? Yeah, take him, he'll be your prophet and you'll be God. So it shows you that was through the spirit.
It's all set up, man.
It's all set up.
So something, like I said, we got to get rid of this childish mentality of you could be whatever you want to be. That's something that is childish. The reality of life is you really can't be, most people will never be what they want to be. You can't get some 4'2" done and tell him he's going to play for fucking France as a keeper. It's not going to happen, bro. You're 4'2". Can some midget play in the NBA? No, like, I don't care what. You could bounce the ball and shit, but you're not going to play because you ain't got the ingredients, bro. It's not going to happen.
What was my man's name from Sparta? The hunchback?
He was born red. You got certain things in life, you're born with it. You got to have the right ingredients, like singing. Being able to sing is the genetics, man. And if you can't sing, you can't fucking sing. No one, you could try and get lessons, but you'll never be fucking Whitney Houston or some shit. She was born with it, man. So we're born, the Israelites are born to be the holy seed, and that's it. Just accept it. That's just how it is. If you ain't got the right lineage, you ain't got the right ingredients. It's not crime.
Esau knows that he used to breed certain slaves to make the strongest slaves. Horses, get certain horses.
Some things are genetic.
Stallion,
Some things, you know, the Lord deals with seed lines, inheritances, things, spiritual inheritances can follow certain seeds.
Galatians, the 4th chapter, verse 22. For it is written that Abraham had 2 sons, the one by the bondmaid, the other by the free woman. But he who was of the bondwoman was born after the flesh, but he of the free woman was by promise.
Yeah, like this other day, because you know, this heifer, Janet Jackson, she's married that Arab. She had his baby, and then like the little youths there playing the drums, and then this nigga from the Roots, you know, the main guy, gave him a drum kit. So like, say because he say, oh, he looks good on the drums, like saying he's gonna be that guy. Like, bro, that's a heathen. That's a fucking Arab, right? Mother Janet Jackson, that guy's a little fucking Arab rap, man.
He ain't gonna have the ingredients.
He ain't got the ingredients. He ain't gonna be no MJ moonwalking and all that. You can't do that.
You get him a shisha and let him just sit there.
Money, man. Yeah, you don't just open up a lounge.
Give him a fucking G class.
What that little nigga does, he's never gonna be. I'm saying it's all in the DNA, like the point saying.
Even in the scripture, Paul said Jerusalem is the mother of us all, and that proves that the people he was talking to were Israelites. But Jerusalem is not the mother of the other nations. Jerusalem is the mother of Israel. So that proves that he was speaking to Israelites, man. Because the mother of Israel's Jerusalem's sons are the Israelites, man. Not the other nations.
You know, even when Yahushua was asked by the apostles, why are you speaking to the people in parables? And he said, because it's given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it's not given. And that's even
the Lord chooses, man. And the Lord is very racial. In fact, he divided them. He created the races and divided to them inheritances, and he spoke to them in that manner. He prophets would say this particular nation of people and prophesy against them. He's talking about that specific people. Now, if it ain't, you're not part of that people, then it don't apply to you. But if you're part of that people, it applies. Just like the curses. If you're an Israelite, you're under the curses. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter what you do. You're going to be under them curses because it's on your seed.
Even the prophets went under the curses.
You can't get around it, man. No matter where you are in the world, them curses going to hunt you down because it's attached to the DNA.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 3 and 10. And all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of earth. In much knowledge, the Lord has divided them and made their ways diverse. Some of them as he blessed and exalted, and some of them he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them as he cast and brought low and turned out their praises.
Right. The Lord created different people, and he can bless or he can curse, he can sanctify. Israel is sanctified, man. And the only people that are sanctified. No one else is sanctified, man. They can't be, man. There is no ritual. Otherwise, show me in the Bible where there was a ritual for a heathen to do to be made holy, to be made clean. There is none. There was nothing for them. That's why they can even eat an animal that died. It says when an animal dieth of itself, you could give it to a heathen. Why? Because they're not clean anyway.
The DNA is based for that.
Literally is to eat something, eat anything.
Yeah.
Bro, doesn't affect them. They can't defile themselves because they kind of already defiled. They're not clean. Like they can't get to the level of that Israel get to, man. The closeness, the spiritual closeness that the Israelites have, because we're a special people. The Lord has chosen unto Himself. Yeah.
It's Job 14 and verse 4. Who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean? Not one. And in the NLT it says, who can bring purity out of an impure person? No one.
There you go. So you just like you can't take a pig, you could take a cow, right, and make it unclean, give it a disease or whatever you do to it, and it's unclean, right? But inherently, it's a clean animal, right? But a pig, right? You can't. There's nothing you could listen, man. You could feed that pig on flipping corn. You know what I'm saying? You could feed that pig on the grass-fed corn. You could massage the pig, give the pig a bath 3 times a day in flipping glacier water or water from the River Jordan. Yeah, you get water from the River Jordan and wash down the pig every day. Give him the River Jordan water to drink. He's drinking from the Jordan. You know what I mean? You could do all the holiness, hyssop and all that frankincense, rub down all that stuff. Guess what? Pig's unclean. The pig's unclean. Why? Why is it unclean? Because it was made that way and it can't be changed. So it's the same thing with people. The Lord made the Israelites to be that holy and chosen seed. Now we can make ourselves unholy. We can be washed, but we can be clean. But the heathen can't be made holy. It's just not gonna happen. They ain't got the ingredients. Just like you can't make a pig clean. Can't.
But it's to back you up. Amos 3 and 1 and 2. Hear this word that the Lord Yahweh has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family which are brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth, therefore I will punish you for all your iniquity.
Right. The Lord only recognizes the Israelites. That's His people. And that's evident in the Bible. Because the Bible is literally about the Israelites, man. It doesn't follow any other nation of people. As a story, if you look at it from a narrative perspective, it doesn't. There's not no segue. Oh, okay, we're deep now. We got over here. We got Egyptian, and the stories about that Egyptian in Egypt and the Egyptian people and how the God dealing with the Egyptians. No, when the Egyptians are in the Bible, it's always to do with the Israelites. There's nowhere in the Bible where it segues away from Israel.
Israel's the main focus.
This is the focus.
Every captivity, anything that happens in the scriptures.
It's just read the narrative of if the Bible was a universal book and it could be anyone, then it would literally be this person from over here, this prophet from here, this prophet from there,
Yeah.
everyone from everywhere, a bit from here, a bit from there. No, it literally is focused in on the Israelites. Yeah.
That's why Esau took out the books of the Apocrypha, the 14 books, because it names names of all the other heathen and how Jake was subjugated under them, man. Especially like the Greeks, with the Maccabees and all that, Alexander. It names names because these guys subjected us in slavery, man. So
Yeah,
Esau
the
saw that and was like, no, that's evidence, man. We need to get rid of that. We need to take those names out of the book. You know, try and hide the history, but you can't hide the truth forever.
That's
Makes
right.
sense?
Isaiah 26 and verse 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness.
Reading it again.
Yeah.
I've read that before.
They're not gonna do right. They're not, it's not in them to do right. They don't have the ingredients to be the sons of God.
Yeah.
The Lord has given them ingredients unto us, man. And we're gonna fulfill that by divine unction. And it's not because we chose to be that, we simply are. You don't choose, we didn't choose to be the sons of God or to be the Israelites.
No,
We was chosen. It's the Lord's setup, isn't it? If there was something you could do, then it would be done. Anyone could do it.
Lord even said it. We were the smallest of the nations.
Yeah.
That's why he chose us. It was because we was the greatest nation in the world. So we was the smallest. And just even go back to the point of what you said about clean and unclean. Why did the Lord why was the Lord sacrificed and not some Edomite?
Yeah.
Because that would have been an unsavory smell. to
Why
the
would
Lord.
he have to come from David's lineage?
And he was known as the lamb, sacrificial lamb. Because a lamb is a clean animal that you sacrifice to the Father. But if you sacrifice a swine's flesh, that's an unsavory smell to the Lord, man.
And even to go deeper with
Yeah.
that, I believe you talk about Isaac, right?
Like,
No,
it's
no,
like
yeah,
Yahweh
yeah,
Shai,
yeah,
but
yeah,
Isaac,
yeah.
Same.
But yeah, when you had Isaac, the same place where he was gonna get sacrificed is a holy place as
Oh,
well.
the
That's
name,
where the
innit?
temple was built.
Okay.
So it shows you, like, everything the Most High does is there's a point, there's a reason.
it resonates, and
Yeah.
it's the same. It's the same thing,
Yeah.
man. Go on, but we got Isaiah 14.
So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, where were they walking? The same place where the children of Israel.
Yeah.
The whole history of the Bible.
It's all in the
It's
same.
in the same place, isn't it? Adam, same place.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So why wouldn't it be the same people?
Yeah.
Come
'Cause
on, man.
you get regular days, you're doing double, triple entendre. Oh, the Most High's the king of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when the 70 souls on the point where he said, "Yo, we got to do away with them."
Yeah.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Go on.
And they shall grieve to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their press, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
Yeah, these other nations are going to be servants and handmaids, man. Yeah, and rightfully so, because we're the heirs of the earth. We're the royal people. You don't see people complaining when Prince William and their man got servants. They got butlers and all these things. Like all the elite people got butlers. Them man got the Hispanic woman all up in their yard. Esau's, yeah, they got Jake. Esau's been. There's a movie about that called The Help.
Yeah.
Esau been having butler Jake in the house helping.
Yeah.
That's why the white woman never had to do nothing, because they had women that would do the work. You know, the grind, but that's how it was in the ancient world. That's why you hear about grinding the meal. Women that came from households that had money didn't grind meal. They was fucking concubines and slaves that would grind the meal. They just ride the rod. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're poor, then you gotta do everything yourself. Yeah. Good.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna take them captives, whose captives we were. We are your captives, and then now you're gonna become our captives. All you Edomites and you other nations are collectively all gonna become our captives, meaning you're gonna be taken by force. Force. Yeah, we're gonna be taken by force, man. You're gonna be under our power and authority, man. And it's not gonna be nice, because we're angry, man. We're upset. We're very hateful right now, especially with you Edomites, man. We hate you. So we're not gonna be what's the word? Compassionate and or there's a word for it, man. Empathetic to your condition, or trying to make things easy for you. Considerate, man. I don't want to be considerate, man. You're gonna be living in very uncomfortable situation, man.
You got to think about it. Like, why aren't we getting angry? We're angry now. Be angry and sin not. Why ain't you got Jake, like Jake's in the camp, just right? I've had enough. Let me buy a fucking machine gun and gun down little. That ain't happening because we're in the spirit of the Heavenly Father. Now, when the time comes around, we're gonna do according to His will.
Yeah.
So you can see how composed we are. That we come out every Saturday. We hate this fucking world. We're coming out here and we're cursing you over streaming video. But this is by the spirit of the Heavenly Father. You can only imagine if He's angry with the wicked every day, what's that gonna look like?
Yeah,
when
well,
he
we're gonna
gets
be
to go?
free, true freedom. But let's say you go right now, you just pick out some Edomite at random, it's like, pops his head off. You're not free because you're under bare anxiety because you're a wanted man now, and they can take you in. Listen, when you're free, when you truly have rulership, and nobody can't tell you nothing. Man will just man's with the man them now, and he just grab. He's an Edomite. He say, "Yo, execute that fool." The man will just execute him in front of us, and it's like, "All right, cool, you good,
Wine.
wine, clean that up, and that's it. We ain't gonna be no, there's a police coming and asking me questions about what happened. Yeah, when we're in rulership, we're the authority, man. Man ain't asking us no questions, man.
When Pilate said to Yahweh, I know you know that I can have power over your life. And he said, yo.
When you got power like Kublai Khan, how Kublai Khan was, man. There was nobody. He said, listen, take him to the stables and stop his mouth from big shit. That was it. Ain't nobody weren't gonna ask him nothing. It just happened. That's true. That's why there's no point. It'd be stupid to come against Esau now because it's gonna come against you. But in the kingdom, listen, that's freedom. That's what you call liberty. What did Bain say? Do as you please. None shall interfere. Stop black rates. The rich shall be rich from their decadentness out into the cold world where we know and enjoy.
Bro, that had bars.
I said, yo,
And they had the montage and dragging out
all them Edomites out of hotels, man. And you're going into slavery and you ain't gonna have time to adjust. You just have to get to it.
No, wait, let me get my head around this. Hey,
I went to the stadium.
That's why we can't wait, because we're gonna get freedom to exact our revenge, man. We're not gonna be like hiding and running like an outlaw. I am the law. So I never broke the law. I am the law. That's how it's gonna be in the kingdom, man. Ain't gonna be no one advocating for you Edomites either. Ain't gonna be let me human rights and all. Edomites. Cool. This is your time now, so do what you want now. We're just gonna preach. But when our time comes, anything that comes to our mind, we're gonna do that. Hey, whip that, whip. You know what I mean? Whippings, all of that, man. And no one can't tell you what to do with your slave. We're going to be on the punishment.
Really, man. Whip man to the flat.
Whip man to the bone. Hey, because you might, the spirit, man. We're going to hold on. This dude here, this Edomite here. Oh, we know what you did. Imagine Jake gonna get their revenge, man. Jake, hold on. This guy lynched me when I was okay. Cool. I know how to do it. I know how to do it. And he'd be like, why? You know, why is this happening to me? Because you're the devil. You have to suffer.
So this is I've got two from me. It says James 2:13, for he shall have judgment without mercy that have showed no mercy.
And they're gonna want mercy. They're gonna be crying. Yeah, Barlin, it's always the same. Listen, whenever a man gets caught, listen, this is known throughout all history. A man will be the most wickedest. And when it's their time, fear Barlin. It's just well known. A man will kill enough man merciless, And then when it's their time to get what the duck get, fear Barlin, man, under like, no, please, like they don't want. We're not gonna listen to all of that. The Edomite women are gonna be thinking they're special. You're not. Shut up, man.
The more you cry, the more angry you're gonna get.
Innit? Just better kick you know, Mark for death when he was going to sacrifice that white girl.
Yeah.
He said, "Stop the blood clot crying." Everybody must die. It's your turn. Hey, yo, Screwface was on point, man. Screwface was on point. Stop their blood. They're gonna be crying and acting up, and they're gonna be, of course, because they've lost everything, man, and their future is destroyed.
In it, yeah.
Go on, man.
Yep. So it says, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. And on the second one, it says Ezekiel 25:12. Thus saith the Lord power, because that Edom hath dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended.
They're greatly Judah. They've done Judah dirty, man, and they want to pretend like that's not part of the. Judah in America, man, is a people that has generational trauma. That's why they're so bugged out.
Yeah.
They're bugged out, man. They've had trauma. That's why they act crazy and do all kind of madness. Because we're as a generation of people, even on the islands, we're a people that had to go through generations of trauma of Edomites just making you feel inadequate, making you feel small, beating you. You see your people getting beat and your daddy killed and your mother raped and all kinds of stuff. What do you think that does to you, man? It traumatizes you. Then that traumatized person has a child.
Go see your children.
And the trauma is going to pass down to the child because the way you act is all messed up and it goes on and on and on. We're a people that's a traumatized people, man. But your trauma's coming. You Edomites are going to know about real trauma, man.
We're strong as a people anyway. We went through all that. We're still able to deal with certain things.
Oh, you know the work.
You can't do that.
Jake, work, man.
Down,
You Edomites, we're going to make you work, man. You're going to know how to work. And you ain't going to get no sunblock. You're going to be hurting, man.
Yep. It says, greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Therefore, thus saith the Lord power. I will also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it. And I'll make it desolate from Teman, and there of the Dan shall fall by the sword.
So Lassie are dead. You know, Lassie are dead as well. They look a Labrador. Everything must dead, man. You Edomites are going to be down bad. And all this you've enjoyed, it's going to be over. That's what you don't understand. Like the niceties that you're enjoying now. That's what I be telling, man. Why are you worried about saving America? Why are you worried about saving America and crying up? Listen, if you're an Edomite, I'm going to give you the best advice that a brother from one brother to another brother. If you own a house here in the UK and it's worth 500K or 700K and all, listen, sell your house, sell your car, sell your wife, sell your children, yeah, sell your stocks, sell everything, take that money and go to flipping some next random developing country where your money is worth 20 times more and live like a blood clot king. That's what you should be doing. I don't know what you're doing here in London, living like middle class when you could be living in Thailand like you're a king. It makes no sense to me. Go to Nigeria, man. Go somewhere where that pound that you have, that £1 million becomes 20 million.
Yeah.
What are you doing in America? If you got money in America like that, why are you even in America, blood? Take your ass to Costa Rica or Puerto Rico and wear your money long, man. What are you doing?
Enjoy your last moment.
Because when you go into our kingdom, there's going to be no niceties. You're going to be eating a very strict and unappealing diet.
It's going to be clean, though.
Yeah, it's going to be clean, but it's going to be strict and unappealing. You're not going to be getting the best cuts of anything no more. You're going to get in just enough so you could do the work you need to do. You're going to be uncomfortable. You're going to have ailments. You ain't gonna be no massages with no happy endings. Ain't even really gonna be getting no punani. We're gonna have selected breeders to breed. We're gonna have just, this guy gets to breed. He's breeding more Edomites. That's fine. What you need to breed for? Just work.
We don't want more.
We could use him to bring you back. We got a breeding system if we want to breed. So you might not even get no punani. So you'll just work.
That's why you
ain't gonna get no alcohol.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna enjoy a good bourbon. Where you gonna get alcohol from? You ain't gonna get no liquor. Bro, I'm just speaking for me. I was saying that. What they getting wine for? You're gonna get water, man.
Well, if I can add, in this kingdom, they're the ones drinking the best wine.
Yeah.
What King was it? King Louis or whatever?
You ain't gonna have Friday night off where you could go dancing and drinking and what do you call dancing? You ain't gonna have no drugs to escape to make you feel better. No heroin. No, it's just gonna be a hard, boring, and unappealing existence, and you'll never know when you're just gonna get whipped and beaten. You just don't know because it won't because you did anything wrong. It's just because you don't like it. Because you're gonna have to pay for a lot of shit you did on this side. So you're just gonna have to get a beating. It'll be random as fuck.
I'll ask you how much
Imagine you just there working. The anxiety that will put you under, bro. It's crazy.
And sometimes he thought I was gonna whip him.
Bro, you Edomites are gonna go through it in the kingdom. I don't think you understand. Because we really hate you.
I'm gonna ask you how much cotton did you pick today? And even if you did the right amount, you're still gonna get
time, man.
You told him to do the
Say, right, I'm gonna do it. Just,
who told you to do as many as you're meant to do?
Cruel, what they call it, cruel and unusual punishment. Hey, why? Now the people will hear that and say, but that's evil. No, because they're not gonna be paying them for what they're doing right then. They're gonna be paying for all the shit they've done now. So they have to get beaten. You got Edomites that were pedophiles and all that. What are people gonna do to them when we get them in the kingdom? They think they're just gonna work? No, it's gonna be more than work, bro. You're gonna be getting tortured. All of that. They had Jake, man, just in the Caribbean torturing Benjamin out here. Listen, you're gonna have fun in the land of Benjamin, man. I'm telling you that we're gonna show you what it's all about. You had Jake shitting in other Jake's mouths and doing all kind of madness, man. You're gonna find out, man.
It says, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh.
So the vengeance is gonna be for 1,000 years. The whole time you're in captivity, that vengeance is gonna be getting meted out. Cruelty, man. It's gonna be cruel. Right. So some of you gonna get it worse than others, naturally, but it's not gonna be nice. You're not gonna have them nice living conditions, you know, the nice fluffy pillow. You're gonna get the bare minimum. Man's gonna be sitting on a hard floor. Some of you man ain't gonna even have the floor to sleep on. You have to sleep on someone else. We have to sleep standing up, man.
Yeah.
Yo, I knew one Nigerian dude, man. I used to work with him at pre-prime. Yeah. Bro, man,
train themselves.
Bro, man used to be. You imagine, man's holding a box, yeah. This is some heavy box of candles, yeah. I look over, and my man's holding the box. My man was sleeping, fam, holding a box. Jake was working so hard. He had to stand up sleeping, man, like a horse. Anyway.
Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they did not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities.
So you're gonna know the loss of children. You're gonna know what it's like to have children and someone take those children and move them somewhere else. You're gonna know all this different pain and anguish and sorrow, the fear of life, the uncertainty of not knowing. You're gonna know that because you read about lynchings, yeah. What people don't realize is, let's say like word got out, yeah, that some white woman somewhere got killed or something. Yeah? Don't you know that all Jakes will be under extreme anxiety because they know that they're just looking to get somebody. So you could just be there and you hear about it, man. When I was reading about it, it said you'd be on the train and you heard it happens. They're all talking about it. Immediately your heart's pumping. You know you're innocent. You ain't done nothing. But these men might just say, get this nigga here. That used to happen all the time. They might lynch 3 people for the same crime because they need to get somebody. So imagine living under that anxiety, though. At any moment, these men could just decide to violate you and there's nothing you could do about it. So guess what? You Edomites, that's how it's going to be in the kingdom for you. At any moment, you know that you could just, it could be the day, man, just feed you to some lions or something. You don't know. You didn't see it coming. Bare anxiety.
Because most of them are atheists anyway, but like they'll know as well, like the God of the universe is with it. So then even a deeper thing, there's no hope as well. Like there's no, you know, like obviously all these idols and Allah of the idol, but them man got the vain belief that some God is gonna come.
They're gonna be in despair. No hope, man. Hopelessness, man.
The woman in the 4th time.
Yeah.
Feel like
hopelessness. Yeah,
Bucker and shit.
and Jake trying to say, but he got fucked up as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. Man twisted his back in like.
Anyway, where we at? All right, carry on with the Isaiah 14. And then we'll go back to Revelation.
And the house of Israel shall possess them, and the land of the Lord, in the land of the Lord,
Right, the
possess.
land, we're gonna go back to the land. The land is part of the gospel. The land, and right now they're fighting over the land and doing all that in vain. But we're gonna receive that land. So let them man do what they're doing and blow up Gaza and whatever they're doing. In the end, we're gonna get that land anyway, and it's gonna be beautified, and we're gonna be chilling and drinking wine and all that good stuff, eating cheese, and you know, pomegranate, shawarma, and hummus,
Lamb neck.
olives. You know what I mean? Oxtail.
I come to find out it's not even real oxygen. It's cow tail.
Well, yeah,
Yeah. Oxygen, milk.
I don't even know what oxtail. Yeah, you know what, yeah. Good. Well, whatever.
It's lawful.
Whatever.
And handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Mm.
And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from the sorrow and from thy fear.
See, that goes back into Revelation 21, where it says, I'll wipe away all tears. Because right now we've been under sorrow and fear of the enemy. Because Esau, we're in Esau's hand. Esau could do what he wants.
Fear of our life.
We've been living on in that fear for a long time.
That's why America is known as the Valley of the Shadow of
And
Death.
that fear is going to come back again for a lot of our people during the time of Jacob's trouble. That's why we're telling you, these Edomites are getting ready to justify killing you, man. Because they're saying it's genetic. They're saying you're the problem with civilization is you. Just go on Twitter. There it is. Yeah, the problem with England is these blacks, you know. This is the problem. It's like, really? We're the reason your country's fucked up? All right.
Yeah, not years of bad economic policy.
It was us. We were doing it.
Thatcher was really black.
All the drugs, all the guns.
So they're gonna come back with that Jake gonna be in fear again, but with the elect were, because we're gonna be protected, and we know that the Lord's about to show these men a thing.
We're gonna be smiling in the midst. They're gonna be like, why? You know, wondering why.
Good.
And from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, how has the oppressor seized, the golden seat seized? The Lord has broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
Yeah, that goes back to what the brother was saying about their power of manipulation and them having a casting that spell over all the nations, like the single Trump. Like everyone's seeing that this guy's a weakling now. America likes to sell a lot of wolf tickets. They're not as strong as they once were. Not as mighty as strong as they once was. Now, you know, they got their own allies talking shit against them. Like before, they would never dare to speak. No one would ever dare to speak against America. That would be like a national threat type of thing. But now everyone's just like, yo, fuck America type. Everyone's not under that vibration because of what America's been doing.
Especially, I don't know if we've been talking about, you know, the BRICS nations and that they've created new unities, man. You know, so they're preparing for a world without America, man.
Yeah.
You know, because they're the nations that are coming up, man. They're strong and they're getting stronger day by day. You know,
and it just so happens that that's why we tell you that system that they're building is a new world order system.
Yeah.
It's the CBDCs, new cross-border payments that Esau set up. So they're causing this chaos.
Yeah.
Bring in that new system.
That's it.
The dollar reserve system is going to have to go. And the new system that comes
Gonna replace it.
is going to replace it. But
It's all a distraction.
it's going to be that chip and all that business. And we can't wait, man. We can't wait, man. Because we need to get the fuck out of here, man. We're tired of these fucking Edomites, man. I'm telling you straight, like, I'm still like it, but listen, man, we fucking hate Edomites. It's actually to the point, man, where it builds up and then it just drops down because you can't keep it there.
Yeah.
But it's there. Trust me, like we fucking hate. Like if tomorrow I woke up here and I could just have, bro, you Edomites, fuck, and I mean you, your wife, fucking kids. I hate all of you, like equally. I'm telling you, man, you devils are pieces of shit.
Yeah, man.
But that's the Lord wants us to be like that. We have to have that hatred, man. The more you learn about these Edomites, man, the more you hate them.
Yeah.
You
The more
just
you think about destroying them.
yeah, boy, you just want to. I'm down for that, man. Let's just do it, man. Whippings, all of that, beating them up, because you just annoying bastards, man.
Just gotta wait on the Lord. Lord said,
Yeah, we gotta wait on the Lord, man. But we hate you, man.
Yeah.
As much as you're on Twitter, you're funny because you know what? A lot of times Edomites don't expect you to hate them back
Yeah, no.
because they're so used to it being one way.
Yeah.
But I'll be looking at them and they don't realize that, bro. I hate you even more than you hate me. So if you think
The feelings mutual. Yeah.
the feeling is truly mutual, they're used to the coons. Oh, why
Yeah.
don't you love me? You know, coons always trying to beg Esau, and they're used to that. They're used to being the one where Jake is trying to appease them and beg friend. And then, like the mans I live next to, their problem with me is that I never beg friend from them. But it's like, bro, I don't want to beg friend from you, man.
What did Sizzler say? No,
You
that's
saw
Because I don't give a damn, man. You Edomite, I hate you, man. I don't want to be around. I don't want to talk to you, man. And if the more you show me how much you hate me, it just elevates me to show you how much I hate you, and I love that. Because we can play the who hates you more game. Because I guarantee you, I hate you more than you hate me. I have real serious hate for you and your children, and I don't even like seeing the little devils kicking the ball around. I don't like them.
And it'll be methodical. We'll make you understand why. Like, shit, that makes sense. I can't disagree with why.
You're going to justify everything that we're going to do to you.
Yeah.
You know?
Second Thessalonians 1:6. Seeing is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation.
It's like, I did a video this week, man. You know, because it's a righteous thing, right? To recompense tribulation, which means to bring evil on the people, man. Lord is not going to be nice with you devils, man. And it's going to be a just and righteous thing. It's not going to be wicked. It's not wicked. It's a righteous act.
We've got righteous indignation, man. And when we see you, Jake, out there, and you don't hate Esau as well, you just shake your head and say, "What's wrong with you, man?"
You're the enemy too.
Even to be in that mindset, you've got to be like lobotomizing yourself to an extent.
Yeah, because these men show you how much they hate you every day. Just go to work, bro. Where I work, I can see when these devils is like. I know you were talking about us before. But you know how many times? But guess what? You know how I know? Because you're acting how I act. Yeah. So I know I can recognize the sign.
All of a sudden,
I've had them ones when I've gotten in the cab, like a work cab, and they've tried to continue the conversation they're having, but they've cleaned it up, But they were talking about Romford and how things have changed. And it's like,
Which I have to agree. Things around the areas have changed.
It's changed a lot. But guess what? I know exactly what the conversation was before I got in. That's really what the conversation was. But when I got in there, they sanitized it to not mention race.
I tell you one thing.
Like,
I tell you one thing about Romford, though, right? Because Romford has changed a lot, right? You go around there, you see, you know before, right? But the most derelict people are Edomites, bro. It's more multicultural and there's more, mixing and that. But most of the people are Edomites, making the place look bad.
you know what's so crazy?
Serious, bro. It's annoying.
You're saying that. I remember I linked a girl in Howell Hill, 2005 or something like that. Obviously, Edomite girl. And I was there chilling with my family.
How was that ugly?
Because there were no Jakes in 2005. No. There was no Jakes. I remember I was just chilling there. People were looking at me like, "What the fuck are you doing here with a family?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm gonna get some box and go back to."
Yeah, they hate it, man, and they're the most hateful people. But then they'll turn around and say, "Oh, look at that area. There's only like Indians there." That's because no one can't live near you. If you, as a Jake or Elam, move into a neighborhood and you're the only family, you're gonna get fucking
Man's gonna put bricks for your windows and do all kind of madness.
These shit you doorstep shit.
Yeah, that's why man have to live together in the same areas because of you. You're the worst. But if one Edomite family move among Jake, they don't get persecuted. And they're gonna put their window through. Really, they should, but they don't. Because Jake and the nations love these fucking devils.
Yeah.
Man, it's time for the hate to come back, man.
Mate, hate great.
What goes to the mention Trump? Because they try to make this whole South Africa thing make it look like these Edomites are being oppressed over
Nah,
there.
they're blessed.
Bro,
They be living.
That was running until the 90s, bro. Like, you had a generation. It's the same generation. Like, it's still there.
And even you
Living
got a lot of the South, you see them in their schools, they do the singing, you know, for the rugby and everything. And that's just Jake.
Nah, they
well,
only-
not Jake.
That whole white
Them-
genocide in South Africa is a
lie.
lie.
Together,
It's not even a thing that happens.
Yeah.
They should be fucking doing it, but they don't. They ain't really doing it. Esau's getting away with it, man. Not like how Esau did to them. Anyway,
Well,
go on.
this is the thing, like, you know, it's good to say he's not held accountable, man. He won't hold himself accountable. You know, and this means he picks to blame it on somebody else or act like he's the victim and thing, but he won't consider what he's done.
Yeah.
You know, because he'll just automatically shoot. It's not right for him to receive the persecution afterwards. But that's not justice then. You know,
Yeah.
it's not justice.
Because even it's like they'll say, "Oh, why do you hate white people?" It's like, oh,
Yeah.
then it's like, well, it's like,
How long you got? You know what I mean? Like, you could be all day fucking telling you all
Nah,
the
the
wickedness.
answer to that question should just be fuck you.
I
don't need to explain.
You should
know,
know.
like, bro,
Yeah,
historically,
Yeah, like the fact that you want me to explain to you why means that you
Justify
want me
myself.
to. You want me to be approved. You need to approve my hate. But if the Edomite ever asks you why I hate, I said, fuck. We're gonna show you why. All you need to know is feel the hate, man. These devils, man.
I've
justified.
in it. It says the black people have fathers. Like, that's the first man would straight away probably laugh.
Yeah,
Devils ain't-
I've seen
there's
all the
tropes,
jokes.
There's stereotypes, man. You're gonna say,
Yeah,
Take you
you
right
know,
through this.
yeah, but you probably were sucking your father off, man. Like, you know what I mean? I'd rather have no father than me sucking my father off, man. These devils are freaky, man. Bunch of party boys. Yeah, nasty, man. You probably got fucked by your uncle, man. Anyway, go on, man.
seeing it's a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen, and that's part of this gospel. That's part of this truth that can't be hidden and can't be shied away from. That yes, we hate Edomites, and yes, we in the kingdom they're gonna be punished and dealt with accordingly. And guess what? We don't have a problem with that. We're not gonna apologize for it just because vocab alone wants us to apologize and wants us to tone it down. We're not gonna tone anything down. That is literally part of the gospel. It's part of the good news that yep, these devils that's been violating us, we're gonna violate them. And we're gonna do it with a smile on our face, man. And we're gonna sleep better at night. Oh, you got a chip on your shoulder. You're damn right we got a chip on our shoulder. And it's gonna be removed.
Yahweh's name it speaks to your downfall in the all, man. He deliver us from who?
You are part of our curse that we suffer, man.
Yeah.
And we're gonna break that curse. We're gonna break you.
Oh, that's
With our right eye.
as vessels, part of it shall be broken into pieces. man.
King David spoke about having a perfect hatred for them that hated our us. You know?
Yeah. And you hate us, man.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
that's
said,
the way it's supposed to be.
all you gotta do is apparently you can't find a racist nowhere, yeah. But then when you go on Twitter, man, you got a 50 million comments on everything.
Every bro, they're legendary racists. Sometimes I didn't know existed. Like, god damn, bro.
And then they're making these memes. Anybody as hell, like Jake, big lips and big teeth.
So they hate black women more than black men do.
It's crazy.
Hey, just a quick one as well, because you know, evil hates good and good hates evil, man. So we always will be set at odds. We was never going to get along. They were two man of different people, as it stated.
Yeah.
You know.
This is Psalm of David. This is Psalm 26 and verse 5. I have hated the congregation of evildoers and will not sit with the wicked. Yeah, we don't want to be friends with you Edomites, man. We've gone away from all that civil rights garbage. I agree. We shouldn't be eating together in the same establishment. We shouldn't be using it because I don't want to walk into a toilet, right? And there's a dick drawn on the fucking, you know what I mean?
Bro,
I don't-
every pub in England, they're wondering why there's a pub crisis in the UK. Why has every pub toilet got a dick drawn on it, bro?
Dick, man's in there doing lines with his dad.
Yeah.
It's a true story, bro. Like we don't, we go, we don't want to be like joined onto you no more. That time's done.
It's actually intolerable, man.
Yeah, you
I
should.
remember
You
last
shouldn't
summer.
go. You shouldn't have be happy. Listen, I shouldn't be. I have to go to a restaurant and there's Edomites sitting there eating. I agree with all that. We should have our own shit around our own people.
Because it's better anyway.
It's just better that way.
And with clean, it's like you go into these pubs, you see certain they don't even wash their hands, and it's like, wait there. They may even be the chef and they're not washing their hands.
Bro, it's I realized it was during the pandemic. I was like, bro, I'll be in the toilet, I'll go into a cubicle, I hear someone else unlock the door. I don't hear the hand grab, I don't hear the all I hear is the door closing. I'm like,
the ghost.
I'm like, bro, and I'm seeing
Hey,
like,
any of you brothers ever gone away to Spain or something on the big thing? Tell me it ain't spooky when most people in the resort are Edom.
Yes,
It's hella spooky, bro. You're just walking around, everyone's staring at you, and you feel like, yeah, man.
like we escaped from the zoo.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Look at these niggas in the cage.
Nah, this is bullshit, man. Yeah, man, we shouldn't be. Because in the kingdom, man, we're not gonna be mixing in with other nations like that. We have our own shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like VIP status, man. You're supposed to be separate. You dumb nigga, you try to go to these Edomite clubs, and when they don't let your dumb ass in, because obviously they don't want too many of you dumb flipping black bitches and niggas in their club for a reason. They don't like being around you. You start going on TikTok. Yeah, look, they won't let us in. It's because we're black. You look dumb.
yes,
Why do you
yes,
even
it
want to
is.
go spend your money and give your money to them people anyway?
Yeah.
What you should be doing is you shouldn't have gone there anyway.
Yeah.
What you should have done was go to one of your own clubs, dodge the bullets, and then go home. Or just don't go at all. I'd rather do that, man. You know what I mean? I'd rather do that than go up in some Edomite rave here where they're all in there just gaying on coke here and they don't really want you there anyway. So
to be eyeing you up.
You know what I'm saying? They don't want you there. The club owners already said they only let 10 of these niggas in tonight.
I remember I went one girl's birthday. One girl I worked with told me to come. This girl, she would go to her thingy. I come downstairs. I remember as soon as she me come down the stairs, everyone left the club. Everyone.
Oh shit!
Everyone. I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit. All the guys were there, they were like, yeah, all right, good, have a nice birthday, love. I was like, oh,
That's cool.
I was like, shit.
Yeah, they don't like her now
Yeah,
anyway. It's like you're
yeah.
hanging around with these niggas now.
But
They must
she's
have
more than hanging around.
They were hurt.
That's always why I came. The girl told me,
man.
oh, she likes you.
That's crazy. Anyway, keep, go on.
It's Genesis chapter 3, verse 14. The Lord God, Yahweh, said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and the dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. And I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel.
Yeah, this whole black and white unite thing, man, it's awkward. Man. You know it's awkward. Whenever you got Edomites around, it just gets awkward, and someone has to acquiesce to the bullshit of the other one. It's either the Edomite have to pretend to be like us, or you usually have to lower your vibration and pretend to be like them. And then that's just corny and it's long and it just shouldn't happen. Just let these Edomites have their things. Let them have their own shit. Stop fighting to
James Bond.
we want to be James. But let them have their own shit, yeah, and be yourself and be separate. Because we're supposed to be separate. Stop begging it from these devils, man. Stop begging it, man. Wanting to be part of them. I want to be British too. Listen, if Edomite don't think I'm British, good. Because I don't want to be whatever you say you are. So whatever you say you are, I'm going to be something else. I don't want to be associated with these Edomites, period. I don't like them. I don't like nothing about them. I don't want to be them. I don't want to see you in my yard. Like, I don't even want my kids to be friends with you. So your goofy little kids come up in my house. I don't even want you in my house. Never. That is the truth of the matter. Like, I don't want you around. And that's how all Jake should be, man.
Bro, you ever try and come, man, don't make
In my house, man. Smelling like wet dog and that, like, kind of. Nah, get out of here, man. But yeah, you know, you gotta play the game and do all that. But really, you don't want to be. I hate living around them. I wish they all moved out of my neighborhood and then I didn't have to see them. Because I get problems with these Edomites, man. They start acting weird, and then after a while, they start acting very weird, bro. I've had it so many times. This brother will tell you. They just start, and you ain't done nothing to them, and they still act weird because you don't kissing their feet every damn 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Fuck out of here,
You know, a
man.
Sambo nigga. That's why.
Yeah, you know,
You know that.
smiling all the time and making
Yeah.
them feel comfortable.
Because you're not accepting their superiority.
In a day in your life. Yeah, go on. Let's finish off that.
Isaiah 14, verse 6 again. It say, he who smote the people in wrath with a continuous strokes, he that lured the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth.
Esau ain't got no friends, man. When Esau gets taken down, there's no advocate for Esau because everyone universally knows this man's the devil.
Not even,
Universally.
not even your British allies are your friends now, man. You know what I mean? Because I say everybody anyway.
I'm including the British. All of them, all these Edomites collectively, they don't have no friends. Because everybody knows, right, that you're the devil that the Bible speaks of. So when we're putting hell on you more than the other nations gonna be like, they're still hurting when they go like, get that devil, man.
They're gonna try to join in.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get back.
We're gonna give them one and give you two.
They're gonna be begging to whoop your ass too, though.
Yeah, right. Don't be so. They're gonna be bringing back their old ad-libs. Sweat now.
The whole earth is at rest and is quiet.
No, because even like possibly to bring up during like 70 AD, you had the Esau trying to help Jake during that time period. You know, 'cause they were trying to fight for us and all that. But not
Don't
this
mean
time.
shit.
Not this time.
Yeah,
Not this time. The days are over.
I'd say even on that, this is the whole earth is at rest.
Yeah.
Like Esau, especially in the movies and stuff, he makes it seem like without him, everything decays. But
Right,
it's
it's a
all, yeah, it's all up. He's always at the end. You know, it's at the end of the world. It's 3 million AD.
Go back to the
Stone
Stone Age. Yeah, he's always there. People are
But
just
what kingdom was really like that? He's talking about all this stuff, you can't even talk and shit, right? But when is it as Earth has ever been like as an empire or a kingdom? It's been empires and kingdoms before you, and they weren't like that.
And it's like they're acting like the only they're the only ones that can be intelligent. But then most of the high tech is coming out of it's coming out of them Indians and all them.
Yeah, it's like
But then
right now, what is it?
Esau's acting like he's the only one that can invent something. But the reality is that
That's because he thinks he's the one inventing them.
yeah.
The Most High giving man
But-
knowledge to do things.
But then if you think about it, yeah, the way life naturally progresses is that someone comes up with something over here, and then another person adds to it and adds to it and adds to it. Like, but this guy just wants to be like, no, it's all me. It's like, but bro, like everyone adds something. What is going on? Like, did you just come up with a computer by itself, or did you build on that from something else and then something else? So life will always, the Lord will put knowledge out there and things will improve. But he's acting like it's just him. He's the only one that can improve anything, and then he just really stole it.
He owned by pattern. There's even like when you go to these universities and work at these companies, like if you work on something, it's the company that made it. It'll be like, Google's invented this thing, where else like some geezers, but that are never going to be credited.
Yeah.
You can't even own your thoughts, man. Your ideas. You don't own that.
Like the best electric cars is coming from China.
And they're having to underhand to keep it from flooding the market.
But that shouldn't happen because apparently Esau's is the highest IQ.
Smartest.
They're stealing our designs. Then why is it better, Trump? Why is it better?
Exactly.
Hey, go on.
The whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, the fig tree rejoiced at thee, and the cedar of Lebanon, saying, since thou hast laid down, no Pharaoh is come up against us. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It is stirrest up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It has raised up from their, it has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. All they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?
Yep. They're going to be brought. Esau's going to be right now. They're up here above the nations, and they're going to be brought down to just be another man on the earth with no power, no authority.
Relegation.
Yeah.
Relegated, man.
It's like when you look at them bloody Ethiopians, man. What was it during the bloody the famine? The famine that they had.
Yeah.
Right. You know, you wouldn't think that they were once rulers of the world.
Yeah.
Right. They were. You know, everyone when they think about Ethiopia, they just think of Live Aid. You know, but they were kings, and that's gonna be like even more so. You know.
And it's deep because the main prophecy, when you deal with the statue with the head of Nebuchadnezzar, like that, he was the pinnacle of the heathen kingdom that ruled over earth. But then when you look at their people, they didn't have the strength to bloody squat a fly, man. A fly could be moonwalking on their forehead, and they couldn't. They can't even. They ain't got the strength. So look at that. All that's the Hanging Garden, one of the 7 wonders of the world, and now they're irrelevant, man. Yeah, them guys, what they got to offer right now? What's that food that everyone eats? Indera. That's what they got to offer to the world right now. That's what they're known for. And Habisha women. That's it. Habisha. Nothing else. You know, they become, you know, the trope of, you know, the heat of Esau. You wanna?
Say, I mean, Isaiah 14:11. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy burials, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
That's it, man. Esau's gonna live a life of shame, man. After he's taken down. You know, he ain't gonna lift his head and boast about anything, because he's gonna be in a sorry state. You know, so that pomp is gonna be pulled down to the grave. He's gonna die a death with him. You know. Yeah, go on.
The
How-
scriptures show you that it's the Most High that picks up a nation, puts a nation down. So that's why it says in Acts, if this council be of men, it shall come to naught. We're not doing what we're doing. It's not about ourselves. We're representing the Most High power, not something else, right? So we're not, even though the Lord actually is going to use us, the battle axe and weapons of war, when he changes us, turns us into Superman, right? But really, it's the Most High that's bringing this place down. Yeah.
Psalms 127:1. Except the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua build the house, they labor in vain that built it. Except the Lord Yahweh wa Yahushua.
Yeah, but really the Lord set this kingdom up. But everything that they've built up is going to be thrown down. And that's what before it was even built, this kingdom, it was already said that it was going to be thrown down. So there's nothing you can do. You're on borrowed time, and you're pretty much out of here. We're just watching the prophecies manifest. All this stuff that is pushing AI, market of beast, controlling, all these plans is a testament to your downfall. Because the scripture talks about your enterprise that you want to get in. Yeah.
Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain.
Yeah, it's watchman, but in vain. Read that part.
Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain.
There you go. What else is that? Get Romans 9. Start at like 30.
Romans the 9th chapter, verse 13. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with the Most High?
The Most High creates animals, creatures, everything. He does what he wants, and he makes them a certain way to how he wants them to be, how he wants them to behave, and all of that stuff. So, that's the Most High. So you can't say, well, I don't think, but that's what's going on now. And with human beings, this is anti Most High agenda. It's satanic. Oh, I don't really feel like a boy, so I feel like a girl trapped in a You bugged out. Then you got people that identify as an animal. I'm gonna identify myself as an animal, as a dog. Right, and then you see that there's videos of that's crazy. Right. Something just happened in London somewhere. Someone was doing that there. Yeah, it was all. And you had some chicken. Jake and he had this chicken. But you know what? That's bogged out. It's
not natural.
Yeah. So it's satanic then. Let's read that.
It says, what shall we say then? Is that unrighteousness for the Most High? Yahweh forbid.
Listen, you can't say the Most High is not righteous for creating. You know that you got balance, yin and yang, right? Everything's got balance. The Most High created that, and it actually says that the Lord created good and evil. Let's get that as well. What's that? Isaiah 45.
Yeah.
Let's get that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Isaiah 45, yeah?
Yeah.
Isaiah 45:7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil.
These are yin and yang, right? Right? That yin and yang. So the Most High, He created all that. So you're gonna say, "Oh no, it really shouldn't be yang." You're gonna say, "How can you do that?" That's crazy, man.
They can't be one without the other.
Right. So all these that have got a problem with what we're saying, you bugged out. You bugged out. You don't know how things work. We're teaching you through the Bible, through the Word, how things work.
Oh, I know.
Right. What you're bugged out, imagine. You don't know how we're telling y'all don't know how things work. You ain't in these scriptures, man. Just read.
It says, I, the Lord, Yahweh, do all these things.
Yeah. What's that one?
Proverbs 11 and verse 1. A false balance is an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight.
So everything's created is perfect. Evil. So actually, the fact that we're oppressed and Esau, Edom to power, it's wicked, right? But guess what? It's a lesson from the Most High power that we're learning. Because when it goes down, we ain't never gonna have to go through this shit ever again. Never. We're never gonna go through this shit ever again, bro. This is it, man. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Man,
Reset. Because once this place goes down, man, it's an everlasting kingdom. That's right. You know, so we're never gonna come out of the power seat. So we ain't gonna worry about the Lord putting us through hell again, man. Because we're gonna be perfect with the Lord.
Yeah. Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. It says, and Yahweh shall wipe away all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow.
so death comes from sin. So the reason why we're dying, what is a curse to get old actually and die? Can you say it's a natural part of life? Actually, no, because not for us. So for the heathens, yes, but for us, that goes back to the Genesis, the story of Adam and Eve in the garden, right? The Adamites, right? And curses upon them. They were going to die. So when sin came in, that's when death came in. So it's amazing.
There's Wisdom of Solomon 2:23. For God created man to be immortal and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, through envy of the devil came death into the world, and they that do hold his side do find it. You know, so he's made to be immortal beings. I always meant to live forever. That's why death was appointed to him. That's why he died at the age he did. You know, and the lifespan's been cut ever since then. You know, it's around about 80. You know, quite strange.
Got a quick one to land back off what you read. 1 Corinthians 15:45. And so it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul, the last Adam was made a quickening spirit. So like, you know, that's Adam, the first Adam brought death into the world. And that's like the elder was saying about us dying, that's not meant to be so. It's not part of life. One of the facts of life. You're born one day, you die one day. You come into the earth, you take shit, you take more shit. I don't know if you know the movie Lair. That's what he says. Go out, grow up a little bit more, you take more shit. And then you're up in the rarest atmosphere and you got so much shit That's not like life ain't to accumulate things and then one day you pass on. Nah, we're meant to live forever.
So you don't take it no more.
But that's why it said Adam was the first Adam was basically, a lesser version of what Yahweh Shai when he came on the scene, when he made himself a sacrifice for the children of Israel to bring us back to mortality.
Because he reached
Yeah.
perfection, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. You said it better. I was gonna say clap the game. So, but that's why we're really here to reach perfection. You want to know what the meaning of life is? Matter of fact, let's get Wisdom of Solomon. Was it 12:13? I think it's that. Where it says the whole duty of man. I got it.
Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 13.
Okay, what did I say? Right, yeah.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear
Wait, so let's hear the conclusion of the whole matter. The Wisdom of Solomon did all these experiments. He did experiments, studies, all sorts of stuff. He went into all sorts of things, man. Even when they left, you know what I'm saying? Right. And then what is his conclusion? Even he did that. What was his conclusion?
wash me out shy and keep his commandments.
Fear the Most High and keep His commandments, right? So when Yahweh Shai was on the scene, that's exactly what Yahweh Shai did. He didn't break no commandments, and he was a sacrifice for us, for our sins. Which what is sin? Sin is transgression of the law. So we can't cover that law perfect. So now we go through Yahweh Shai's blood and the grace. That's where all you see how it works, man. Y'all, that's how it works, motherfuckers. We don't, if you say I ain't gonna keep no laws, fuck that, then you're going off. But if you're striving to keep the laws, and you know that you're still a human being and you ain't gonna keep it perfect, that's the way. But you got faith and grace in the blood of the sacrifice. Yeah.
This is Romans the 6th chapter, verse 17. But God,
Is there any more on that? Yeah. Let's finish that because I can see that.
Yeah, it says to fear Yahweh Shai and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Oh, you read?
Yeah, and I'll read this next verse as well. Shai shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil.
Yeah, none of y'all are escaping this, man. You can't hide nothing. It don't matter if you've been hiding in the bushes in the Amazon jungle. Through the spirit, they're going to get rolled out. If they're eating spiders or whatever they're doing, they're going to have to make a choice. You go repent to Yahweh Shai, or you go keep worshiping wherever the fuck that guy is. You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit.
They probably
That's
watch it.
Romans the 6th chapter, verse 17. But Yahweh be thanked that you were the servants of sin, but you have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered unto you. Being then made free from sin, you became the servants of righteousness. I speak.
You know what? Read it again and slow it down.
Romans 6.
Like that's how you are. I just don't cover the job, man.
Romans 6:17. But Yahweh be thanked that ye were the servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine.
So we were the servants of sin, right? And when you're in the world, bro, you don't know what's going on. Eating prawns, lobster, crab stick. You know what I'm saying? You just run around, do anything. Adultery. Anything goes. As long as it feels good and right. There's actually no. This kingdom is not governed by the Most High's commandments. So that alone shows you that this is a wicked kingdom. How can you build a kingdom that's not built off the Most High's commandments? That alone, like what we talking about then, bro? Right?
The last.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you know the system. What about this kingdom is not built off the Most High's commandments, bro? So it ain't going ain't going to last. What you talking about? Oh man.
But ye have obeyed from the heart that form of doctrine which was delivered unto you. Being then made free from sin, ye became servants of righteousness.
How are we free from sin? Because we're under Yahweh Shai. Because we're technically still sinning. Because you know, but that sacrifice covered us. And the amount of, yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Now, if you want to be, if you want to be under that, you got to repent and be under. You know, ultimately, everybody's under that because elected, even if 2/3 gonna be in the kingdom and shit. I mean, go on.
I speak after the manner of men because of the infirmity of your flesh. For as ye have yielded your members servants to uncleanliness and to iniquity unto iniquity, even so now yield your members servants to righteousness unto holiness. For when you were the servants of sin, you were free from righteousness. What fruit had ye then in those things whereof ye are now ashamed?
Yeah, but you weren't ashamed before. You were just doing whatever the fuck you was doing. You like the kid. You running around, you know what I'm saying? You just do anything. I'll do anything. Remember that dude, man? He crashed out, and that black woman. Is that what's going to do? Remember that, man? What was it? You know what I'm saying? And he started he took her out or something, killed her. Shit. But he actually had smoked a couple of Jake women. But he looked like Chris Brown. Apostles remember brought it out before, man. Did you find it? What was his name? Like Jay Quan or something. He had that kind of name. Like the black woman, man. You know what I'm saying? And I think she had a son in there. He said, well, is that what you want? She had recorded. Is that what you going to do? I'll do anything. He's outside the house. Look, I called you. He keeps crashing out, man. I don't even know what we're saying, man. What we're reading, man. I don't know why that came out.
Romans the 6th chapter, 21.
Right. Is there any more?
Yeah. It says, what fruit had ye then in those things whereof ye are now ashamed? For the end of those things is death. But being now made free from sin and become servants unto the Most High, ye have your fruit unto holiness, and the end everlasting life.
And you know, the end everlasting life, that's the prize of what we're doing, to believe in Yahweh Shai. And as we read meditating on, when you got the truth, man, it like, it makes you mentally stable and calm and got peace because you know what's going on, you know what's going to happen. These people out here don't know that. They ain't got that, they're unstable, they're messed up. You actually know everything that the Lord's giving you. You know what's going on. You know who people are, nations. You know what their fate is. You know what their fate is. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what their own fate is. They're just walking around by chance. And, oh shit! Oh, you know what I'm saying? But we know.
Others, well, we know why we're suffering.
Yeah.
You know, Jay, they'll be like, oh, why are these things happening? But the truth is like, hey, it's against the Most High.
Right.
Yeah. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of Yahweh is eternal life through Yahweh Shai Mashiach, our Lord.
That's right. What we got?
This is 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 19. It says, but we have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place.
But we have a sure word of prophecy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Which means that we know that these things are going to happen. Okay? We know that America's going to be destroyed. All right? And that's it. Look at what's going on. Trump, the economy. Come on, man. It's obvious. We know that. We know because we know what the fate is. We know the end. So the oracles, the matrix. You know, that's why when you go in the scripture says we got a light on. That's why when you're in the world and stuff like that, people might look at you, might flinch around you. You know, there's something. You know what I'm saying? Right? You know what I'm saying? Feel uneasy because they got them demons on it. You got the light, and You know what I'm saying?
You can tell when it happens. Women especially.
Right.
Got another one?
So I just want to say one point on what you read. It said about Marshall word. It said about something about the dark, the light that's shining in the darkness. The Lord is gonna come bring the day of darkness, and even everything's gonna come to a point where who's gonna be the more sure word of prophecy. The words that we got is basically what's gonna allow us to see through the shit. That's why it says in Paul wrote about it brethren, you are not in
darkness. No longer in darkness. Children of light.
That's it. But we're gonna see. We got up on everything. We know what's going on.
I got that one. Right. First Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 4. In fact, let me start from 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye brethren,
So they shall not escape.
Right.
That's heavy.
Yeah.
It's like what was that movie? 2012. And he was in the water and people was trying to escape. That whole movie was like based off everybody trying to escape. You know what I'm saying? That's funny. But guess what? The scripture says they ain't going to escape. Unless you, like even so the billionaire bunkers and all that, or the Rothschilds bunkers, elite bunkers and stuff like that. Okay, they're gonna miss certain things, and stuff like that. But it still ain't going to escape, because that's in Amos. They ain't going to escape, man. Fuck you. They're not gonna escape. Where they're at in them bunkers, they're gonna get drawn up from them bunkers, like how Magneto did in X-Men, man. He drew them out of the ground. That's what, you know what? That's where they got that from. They got that from the scriptures, man. 100%.
Yeah.
These top elites, man. First of all, they're witchcraft, Hollywood, you know what I mean? The magic wand, demons, fucking warlocks, man. Okay. And you know what? There's a major spirit right now, yeah, of they call it feminism, yeah, and feminist, which really that don't even mean that. Because when you're like, let's say you're a pacifist, then you pacify things. So if you're feminine, really should mean that you're female.
That's
you know
a slur to them. That's a spirit. If you call a woman a female, they'll be like, "It's cool to be a female."
Right.
They actually get offended by it. I was trying to work.
They just got adversarial. That's what they come like.
That shows you. That's deep.
So there's this heavy spirit of the tattooed up. You know what I'm saying? And it's masculine. It's this demonic spirit. It's just everywhere. It's all over the social media. It's a big philosophy right now. It's crazy. This is the worst time. They're into tarots, all of them, all on the internet, into witchcraft, they're into all sorts, man. The New Agers, they're really the New Agers.
Yeah.
But it's all packaged like of spiritual and all that. They're doing all sorts.
Yeah. It always comes
The
with
freaks.
with that beliefs as well. It's like, oh, they're always rebelling against any kind of norm. Like they're all is into sexual freakism. They're into witchcraft. It's like you go back 10, 20 years, people weren't really into witchcraft. Everyone was being atheist. Now it's like them same people that would have been atheists, now they're into witchcraft.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like,
You're
how
not
have
really
they done that?
You're not really hearing atheist. That before it used to be atheist, but now it's not that. Now it's spiritual witchcraft.
Yeah, New Age. It's funny.
So they've got Helena Blavatsky, Aleister Crowley. That's right up in there right now.
Yeah.
Y'all have been fucking lost, man. We believe in the scriptures, man. We're Christians. We're the real Christians. The good Christians. Man. How about that?
It's funny because there's an article that came out. They were saying that a lot more men or younger guys are getting into church. That's what they say. I don't know how true it is, but they said that that's a lot of them. They're saying they're going to the church. Whether it's a process of they'll find the next step, but that shows you the world we're living in. Yeah. But the world we're living in, they're looking for answers. They're thinking that, like, fuck this shit. And even it's funny because I was chatting to my housemates, people I live with. They're a lot younger than me. And they were talking about the same shit. you know, early mid-20s, they're like, I don't go clubbing, don't like the women. Everyone's got this feminist spirit, blah blah blah. So the whole generation, this new generation, they are not feeling the women of this era, and they'll be laboring them incels. But they're not feeling the women of this generation. They're not on it.
That's why you're going to regret isolating the men, man.
Matter of fact, there's a lot of scriptures on the females.
Yeah.
They shall be trodden down like the mire of the streets. So all this Western philosophy of what's going on, that's heavily demonic.
Yeah,
That's heavily.
it's actually ancient witchcraft.
Right.
Back in.
And there was one documentary I was watching, and it was like one of them women from Coronation Street or something like that. I was watching one of them, you remember it, I forgot. Basically, it was talking about all this witchcraft going on in England and that. And it was up Pendle, up the north of England, yeah. And it was going into in the Middle Ages. They were getting burnt up and that, right? So then it was just showing like how they had fucking dildos in the forest and shit. And then they were putting curses on men and shit in the forest. It's crazy. So a lot of these fucking bitches that are into all that, that incentive, they're demons, man. Or you know what I'm saying? Oh, my energy and the riding dildos. They're with the demons, bro. Straight
You
out.
just reminded me. Charlotte Church is one of them right now. You remember Charlotte Church? Yeah. She's a witch.
I know her.
Yeah, the singer. She's a witch. I see her just come to my mind randomly. I said, "What's this doing?" She's in the fucking the forest in Wales, you know, taking a bath in the fucking forest.
Right.
And saying, "Join me, we sing for Sam Hain," and different things like that.
You know what I'm saying, man? So you know what, man? This place is gonna get fucking done. All right, it's not getting off the hook. You got fucking Rothschilds here, man. You know what I'm saying? They're here. You know what I'm saying? Let's read what we got.
Yeah, I got a quick one. This is Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 22.
Right.
How long will that go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord Yahweh have created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man.
That's completely out of order. That destroys everything. Destroys society. Destroys. That's what it does. It's not a light thing.
Well, Esau enjoys disorder, man.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he's got the
yeah.
whole world in this disordered kind of state, man. And, you know, he starts with the home. It translates out. You know.
If you go to women, only started wearing jeans about 70 years ago, 80 years ago. It's so normal now. They were wearing dresses. So if everyone's conditioned, you think it's normal. You're actually been conditioned.
It's just recent.
Yeah.
Current thing.
Brand new.
Yeah, it's fucking new. Imagine that. And that shows you, look, this place is already crumbling, man. America had a short rule and it's over. Okay, that's in Revelation 17, man. It's like it's the 8th that would come up and all that. It's going down. That's America. The great whore Babylon the Great. You know what I'm saying? That's sold witchcraft to all nations, philosophies, all that. American. It's called the American Empire. Rome 2.0. You know what I'm saying?
I got that.
Yeah.
Habakkuk 2:15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that puttest thy bottle to him, and makest him drunken also, that thou mayest look on their nakedness. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered.
Go into it, man.
Yeah, that woe unto him that give his neighbor drink. Because really, America has been the lead pad for a lot of those philosophies to go and push out. Even with Esau ruling in Europe, they still maintained a certain level. Like even with like atheism and what coming in, they still had the church. They still had certain establishments, a certain level of order. But then when you have America come into power, really after World War II, when they gained the prominence in the world, then they started pushing out philosophies heavy, and then everyone just got drowned by that wave. So where it's like really it's like you go back to like 1800s, early 1900s, like everyone was following after Esau, but then they didn't have women just coming up and getting put in position. They weren't having homosexuals everywhere. Those things it's like post really the 60s. That's when you had that come as a flood.
Right.
Then you got, the UK saying like to Uganda, yo, if you're putting the most to death, then you man are not getting aid.
You know what's funny, man? There was an interview on YouTube with Evelyn Rothschild before he died, yeah, and he basically said he had the hardest time he had with some of them African leaders. He was saying, look, they're not cooperating. He actually said it.
Yeah.
On the I'm sure, man, one of you said that, right? He said it. He said, look, you know, said it, they're having a hard time. And he was in a conference and shit that the people in there didn't even know what the fuck he was.
Yeah.
They just think it's a businessman.
Like being undercover.
That's how they go on. They're just a business person.
One of Satan's babies, man.
And that's how you sort of get to them FRNs. You want to get up in the system. You know what I'm saying? So you look up to businessmen, Elon Musk, how did you do it? And all this bullshit, man. What's that?
I'm saying you read their books, you get into their books and everything.
Right.
Best
Right.
sellers.
Yeah. Right. So you start modeling your life. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Meditate when you wake up.
Where you go to the coffee shop, you're gonna sit a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
Rest the same way, sitting there like
Drink success. You know what I mean? And he still don't work out.
I've got a precept to back up. I got
Right.
a bit more. Says the cup of the Lord Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. And yeah, that shameful spewing. And that's the thing, is really we're at the point where it's not even one nation, it's like everyone globally has seen the birth rate decline. And then it's like mostly the West, they call them advanced nations or whatever, it's below replacement everywhere. And they're like, what's the problem? How does this work? What do you think?
Well, this is by design, because it's come out now that they've what they call it, they've gone through immunization. You know, immunization where they've taken a man's sperm and a woman's egg through AI and technology to make a baby. So they're saying now, you know, we can see to population increasing, you know, because no one wants to have sex no more. When really they've made a gender war out on social media where everyone's at each other's throats. You guys are incels. You guys are feminists. So now you got a new generation, they're not talking to each other. And, you know, sex, more women are virgins, more guys are virgins. And there's no sex going on. It's a form of population control.
To add to what you're saying, I don't know if we both make, you know, if you take the transport, you'll have seen the signs roll straight up. If you look at a woman, you don't sexual harassment. Like when you see that, you go and be like, look, I ain't seen shit.
I didn't see shit. I ain't seen nothing.
And then even with those as well, it's in the workplace. They said like, I think prior, like the 70s, the 80s, they said most marriages started from workplace romance. And then since like 2017, 2018, the Me Too, then they said like the whole men and women at work talking to each other. If you try and ask her out on a date, that's a form of harassment. HR is going to pull you up. And those fit, that's the bit, it's like you're around the
brother,
woman.
man. I'm sure it happened. I remember.
Right.
Yeah. I know a man remember that was me, man. Yeah.
That's some crazy ass shit.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's close out on the one scripture we wrap up.
Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse 10. But I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not.
Yeah, so Esau, he's done, you know, he's been exposed. And Thessalonians tells you that the Lord shall consume him with the spirit of his mouth. So he's been exposed, man. And then that's him going down. The fact that his truth is global, that's him out. That's how the Lord is going to do. Yeah. Through the information. Words is power, man. And the spirit of the Lord, everybody's messed up when they hear the truth. The word's gone out in the whole earth. It's messed up the media, it's messed up celebrities' brains, messed up everything.
Even Snoop Dogg came out and spoke about it just a bit. Just not back ago.
Right. And we used to see a lot of celebrities, man. And it was funny, Eubanks brothers fighting. His brother, the brother that died, he was an Israelite. And he used to come to the camp every week. He was there.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know that he was watching us, man. He was a believer, you know.
He was tight with that Shaka Bars as well. The one
Oh,
that's
yeah.
online, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They killed him. Sebastian.
Yeah.
Well, we don't know. We don't know.
I'm speculating. Yeah.
Like, you know, we don't
Someone
know.
wound up, a fit healthy guy wound up dead in the beach in Dubai.
Right, he must have drowned or some shit.
Come on, fit healthy guy drowned in Dubai.
Yeah, yeah.
Come on, bro. And you see now, that's why even that whole family, they're all kind of, so they say, but it's like, you know, they all split up and that, you know, the dad don't speak.
Well, you know what? I think there was an interview where the dad said that he learned a lot from his son. And that was from that one.
Yeah, from the one
he
that
was saying, because he used to, and that's the spirit. And then he started coming out with the blacks and the Irish. He got spiritual spirit. They were talking.
And even Chris, what he kept doing, the
that's
dad.
why he's dropping jewels a lot nowadays.
Now, you know what Chris is on now? He's on his roots. He's doing the patwa hard.
Yeah, watch
so
yourself.
doing that for the past doing the patwa hard. Like, you know, basically, drop. Every time he does it, you see him triggering and just start dropping patwa on them. You know, he's getting in that spirit. It's crazy, man. You know, because he knows what time.
He heard the truth.
They know what it is.
He knows the truth. Chris Eubank Senior knows the truth, and the son. They all know it. That's the spirit, man. All right, man. We out, bro. Yes.